Hey, did you ever think you may have been blessed with a sixth sense?
I see dead people.
Was your favorite movie growing up Casper the Friendly Ghost? Oh, I'm sorry. We don't have the rights to Casper? Thankfully, we do have the rights to the legally distinct and very original character Ghoster from the movie Ghoster. Well, congratulations! You might be a spirits bard. But what is a spirits bard? Well, set up the graveyard cookout, wholesale order enough candles for a seance, and binge watch some Long Island medium.
Because there's like a crap load of spirit here right now. I didn't mean to say it like that, but I don't know who to start with. They're all lined up on the stairs over there.
Because spooky season is still on, baby! Everyone wants to know what happens after we pass on. Whether through religion or reason or just sheer speculation, it's one of those great human mysteries we may never fully be able to understand. But why don't we just ask somebody? You know, somebody dead. Enter the spirits bard. Yes, while other bards use instruments, composition, or prose to inspire the masses, the departed muses have chosen the spirits bard to work as a conduit to the material plane, kinda like the spookiest game of middle school telephone. And while many subclasses claim to be in tune with the great beyond, you're the only one who really spends afternoons chatting it up with your paranormal pals.
Yo.
What's up?
But first, have you ever wanted to MMO on the MMGo? Do you need more of that classic dungeon diving experience but condensed into phone form like the medieval fantasy Honey I Shrunk the Kids? Well, today's sponsor, Dungeon Hunter 6, can cure what ails ya. Dungeon Hunter 6 is a free-to-play mobile MMORPG from the long-running series that's been out since 2015. Choose your class and play as a bounty hunter to slay bosses or have them join your team. It also comes packed with PvP and PvE style gameplay with multiplayer guilds and raids for you to play in. There's not another game out there that will give you that mobile MMO experience quite like Dungeon Hunter 6, and to get all this for just downloading the app is incredible. I chose the Warrior class because I can't help but always play as a walking metal beefcake, and the amount of depth and options that come with the skill tree system with each class is pretty impressive. So make sure to scan the QR code on screen or check out my link in the description to download Dungeon Hunter 6 today. And if you use my link, you can get a special starter kit worth $50. That includes 10 summoning scrolls, the demonic wolf lieutenant, and an accessory pack for your heroes. So pack a broadsword, brush up on your monster lore, and start dungeon diving today. Thanks to Dungeon Hunter 6 for sponsoring the show, and now, back to the video. So you need to share with the world what the ghosts in your noggin are telling you. And try not to sound like somebody who needs to be committed. Well, to do that, you gotta be a bard. Bards get away with being a little off through their natural charisma, but also their bardic inspiration. This lets you use a bonus action to tell a friend that the guy who used to live in this abandoned shack thinks they're really cute, but in a way that somehow doesn't make them immediately run out the door. Your bardic inspiration die starts out as a d6 and can be used on any d20 rolls, giving your allies a little extra spirit when they need some. Bards also get spellcasting to let you channel a little magic through your spooky tunes, but I like to imagine your particular brand of spellcasting is actually played through one of those old Aztec death whistles. At second level, you get Jack of all trades, letting your bard add half their proficiency bonus to all skills they aren't proficient in, but also the Song of Rest to give your team extra hit points when they use their hit die on a short nap. And while songs about the existential dread that comes when thinking about death may be your favorite lullaby, just remember the normies may want to hear something like Mary Had a Little Lamb, you know, something not insane. We also get the option of taking magical inspiration for the healers or magical damage dealers in the party to let them add your bardic inspiration die to either the amount of HP gained or damage dealt, giving spellcasters a little more to do with your inspiration dice. But pack your bags and kiss your mom goodbye, kiddos, because it's third level where we head off to college. And not the fun party and booze type college.
Thanks. I needed that.
More like the downbeat poetry and coffee shop type college.
'Cause life can stop on a dime.
This lets you channel the spirits for a little otherworldly guidance, which gives you the cantrip Guidance. Well, hey, look at that. With an extended range of 60 feet. So you can always whisper some spooky advice from across the room. But you also pick up a new spiritual focus. That's right, you melancholy maniac. Ditch the soft jazz of the sax and bongo drums for something even more downbeat. Your spiritual focus can be anything from a crystal ball to a fairly fresh human skull, and needs to garner that deeply unnerving energy every time you break it out. But that means you can now use it as a spellcasting focus for bard spells, and any damage or healing spell you cast through the focus gets an additional d6. But the fun doesn't stop there. While you can still use your bardic inspiration the boring way, why not let the dead have a turn? Instead of giving inspiration to an ally, you can now expend one use of your inspiration to be told a tale from beyond from a ghostly entity. However, you never know which tale you might hear, so you roll your d6 bardic inspiration die and that determines which ghostie pays you a visit. Then, after you've heard the tale, you use your action to roll your eyes to the back of your head and scream it into the ears of an ally within 30 feet, letting them gain a nice buff. But there's so many different tales that might come to you, how do you know what they all do? Hello, ladies and skeletons, boys and ghouls, to DJ Pimento Cheese's spooky holiday special. So, pull up a coffin and listen to a song that will make your skin crawl. Tale of the clever beastie makes you wiser if you need be, or it's firing to the cheap seats, clap for the spirit's bard. The tale of Reed now duelist, you really are the coolest. More damage with a sword swish, fight with the spirit's bard. Tale of beloved friends, gives you hit points you can lend. You really are a godsend, cause you're the spirit's bard. Tale of the runaway E, what really can I say E? Teleporting with your bay E, don't forget the spirit's bard. The tale of the Avenger, hurts baddies if they injure, protecting your friend Ginger, that's from the spirit's bard. The tale of the traveler, runs circles on the stragglers, don't worry about attackers, and thank the spirit's bard. Okay, I think that's enough of that. Just know you can remember only one of these tales at a time, so if you use your bardic inspiration to re-roll on the table, you'll lose all the ones in your head. And that table only lasts until you finish a short or long rest. Third level lets us become an expert in 2 of our skill proficiencies, so make sure to really lay on the charm, so everyone can ignore the fact that you're sharing gossip with the barbarian's dead grandma. At 5th level, we get the Font of Inspiration, so we regain all bardic inspiration on a short rest instead of a long rest, because it's always best to be the hostie with the most ghosties, but it's also where our bardic inspiration die bumps up to a d8, which means our table gets bigger and... wait. The tale of the beguiler will hurt their head compiler, make 'em sleepy for a whiler, knock 'em dead, spirit's bard. The tale of the phantom, clear skin is what you grant them. You scream your spooky anthem, run from the spirit's bard. No more spooky song. At 6th level, we can host our own spirit session with a number of willing creatures equal to your proficiency bonus. This session lasts for an hour and lets us call upon the ghosts of spellcasters past to temporarily learn a divination or necromancy spell from any class? That's awesome. The level of the spell chosen also equals the number of people who are able to make the seance happen, so make sure to find tons of friends on your adventure because getting 6 people together is going to get you a ton of spell mileage at later levels. But for now, as long as you have at least 3 people in the circle, you can pick up Summon Undead, Clairvoyance, or even Revivify, which are all fantastically spooky. Respect for the dead sure goes a long way when you're a spirit's bard, so pay your dues and make sure to thump any grave robbers you may see on your adventure. We also get Counter Charm that sucks and I hate it and it makes me sad, so moving on! 10th level is where our bard learns some magical secrets, letting them pick up 2 extra spells from any class, and there are so many great choices, but you gotta pick up Danse Macabre. This lets you essentially control 5 corpses at the same time, which of course follow your commands, but you're a bard, and isn't this the perfect opportunity for a skeleton rave? We also get some additional expertise to become even better at being good at stuff, but our bardic inspiration bumps up again to a D10, making sure we tell better campfire stories, but also... oh no. The tale of the brood, you really are a hoot. Kill baddies with a scoot, don't hit the spirit's bard. The tale of the dragon, now don't you be a braggin'. Ignite them if they're nagging, and flame the spirit's bard. Skipping up to 14th level, we get 2 more magical secrets, and Finger of Death is just right there waiting for you. This spell is wild, doing 7d8 plus 30 necrotic damage on a failed con save, and if the target is killed outright by the spell, they turn into a zombie that's permanently under your control. I know this is more of a necromancer thing, but turning alive things dead means more ghosts, and more ghosts means more friends. But we also gain a mystical connection with those supernatural forces, meaning you get to roll twice on the Ghost Stories table and choose which suits you better. And if you roll doubles, you can just ignore the roll entirely and choose your favorite. This of course goes hand in hand with our Bardic Inspiration dice at level 15, which is now capped off at a D12, and of course means... oh god damn it! The tale of the angel will save you if you're mangled, and cure whatever's painful, bless the spirit's bard. The tale of the mindbender puts their noggin in a blender, stuns the old offender, and fear the spirit's bard. 18th level is where we discover our final 2 magical secrets, and while Wish is Wish and amazing and so good I'm not even sure how it's in the game, you could pick up Power Word Kill to just sunder any creature under 100 hit points. How many ghost stories do you think you'd be hearing then? I bet a lot. But our capstone is the 20th level with Superior Inspiration to gain 1 Bardic Inspiration if you roll initiative with none, which sucks. What a bummer ending. Speaking of bummers, does all this talk of death bring the Spirit Bard down? No, it's really what you're best at. And I think what's great about the Spirit's Bard is that it does enough flavor-wise to make it feel distinct, while having its own personality and not just be a musical necromancer. But it does have a few issues. While I don't mind wild magic tables in general, when it comes to the Spirit's Bard, the Tales from Beyond is just a little weird. They're thankfully all buffs, with one being just a straight-up attack, but at the cost of your inspiration die, they just don't keep up strength-wise, especially at higher levels. In my opinion, it would almost be better for every tale to be a different spell instead, letting you give your Spirit's Bard a ton of variety as well as utility. This isn't to say that the Spirit Bard is bad and everything else on the sheet is solid all the way down. I especially like the extra damage and healing you get from your spiritual focus, but I do think the main attraction of the Tales from Beyond table could use some restructuring to make it work a bit better. But if you don't care about any of that and just want a fun, spooky spellcaster for a grimdark campaign, you can't go wrong with the Spirit's Bard. And while I think there's some things it can improve on, it's a very solid option for any party, but especially larger groups. Thankfully though, whenever the dead come calling, the Spirit's Bard is there to answer. So if you've ever been accused of talking to yourself while secretly asking a wandering specter where the nearest bathroom is, can tell a ghost story so captivating it draws in literal ghosts, and are the inspiration behind a staggering number of talking to the dead to solve crimes TV shows that popped up in the mid-2000s, guess what? You might be a Spirit's Bard. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I've been having a lot of fun with the spooky themed subclasses lately, so I hope you have too. New subclasses will be coming up in the poll the day after this drops, so make sure to vote so you don't miss your favorites. But until next time, keep being awesome, and I'll see you very soon.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! Do you know who this is? No, who is this?
Toto? I have a feeling we're not enchanted anymore.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the game, episode 54. Today we're going to be talking about gifts for players and DMs, or tabletop role-playing game gifts.
Tabletop game gifts. Game gifts.
Yeah. Nice. So if you're just joining us, we are a tabletop talk show and podcast brought to you by Dungeon Studios. We go beyond live play and dive deep into every topic from session zeros to campaign heroes. As I mentioned before, and I'm just going to remind everybody that in December, we are going to start playing some of our best of episodes, some of them that you might have missed if you're new to our show. We are also shifting our focus to YouTube. So you'll start noticing, I believe, our next episode, which is going to be airing. This is all timey-wimey, but you'll see it. You'll see it on Tuesday, whatever episode.
No, it's like I said, it's like I keep saying.
Right.
Go to YouTube, smash those subscribe buttons, smash those like buttons, talk to us. I'm always there, man.
Right.
We are creatives that are always around. We're on Discord, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. Reach out to us. Right. Russell's busy. I don't know which way he is. Russell's busy. He's like a full-time DM. And like we're the Neapolitan DM crew right here.
Yes.
What we were saying.
We should just rename the show to the Neapolitan or something.
No, really, go to YouTube, smash those like buttons.
Yes.
Check out our website, dungeonstudios.co. Where do we find you, Russell? On the interwebs?
Rollstream.com.
Yes.
ROLESTREAM stream, rollstream.com. You can email me at rkdm@rollstream.com. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/rollstream, and similarly on YouTube at Rollstream. So pretty much all my tags are Rollstream.
Easy to find you.
Yeah, I mean, I think TikTok's a little different. It's .rkdm, so there's an actual dot at the front of that, so it's a bit weird, but you can find my links. They're all around.
That's
Google,
what I was going to say. Yeah,
Google, baby,
my
Google.
links as well are like, for the most part, they're all pretty nerdy, except TikTok, I think, is pretty.nerdy. I don't know why they forced you to be different. And then Twitter is like, or sorry, X is party nerdy _RWB for real world building. So yeah, all right, well, that was great. We got all that in there in the beginning.
That's very nice. RWB, those are some of my initials. Russell William Brian.
That's Kirkby. Right, we talked about that. That's
Weird.
right. Yeah, so
now I'm mostly on Facebook.
Yes.
But mostly my groups are closed. I have Dr. Platorius's Chronic Adventurers, which is a group of chronically ill folk that come together online to play D&D. That's how I ended up here and becoming more of a creative. Before we dive into gifts, Amber gave me the golden key to start this episode off. I have to talk about something that's really important before we begin. I had to become a minimalist because of my health. This has been very tricky for me to navigate. I also had to give up all my D&D books talking about the game.
That just
which is
another
like,
reason. So
it's
been
like,
so hard.
Well, and that's why I became part of Dungeon Studios and became part of the crew of creatives there, because I wanted something in my life about D&D still, even though I didn't have my bookshelf and my goblin dice. But it's been very difficult for me to navigate through that. But of course, getting so involved with this over 2 years, writing adventures, I have kind of amassed a few goodies here and there. But remember, it's important to be focused on quality of items you're going to get for yourself. Mm-hmm. And, if you're really not using something, see if you can repurpose it or use it somewhere. Yeah. Don't let things just sit around and not be useful to you. That's when you start unuseful clutter. And we can go into a whole episode about that, but that's a whole nother show. So I go right back to Amber. Thank you, Amber. I just have to deal with that myself because it's been very hard.
No,
so thank you, Amber, for letting me mention that.
It is interesting. And I can't wait to see how this episode unfolds as we talk about, it sounds like it's a materialistic topic, right? Gifts, and there's going to be material items that we're pulling out. And for someone who has, an illness or whatever that prevents them from actually amassing physical things that could be really hard. So I am interested to see what you will be showing us tonight.
Well, here's the other thing is I love seeing things because I don't get to keep them. And we'll talk all about this. Let's get started.
Yeah.
From my point of view, I do get gifts from players, which is really, really amazing and nice. And it's one of the best things about being a professional DM. But conversely, because I'm a professional DM, I'm actually quite poor. So I don't get to buy people gifts anywhere near as often as I would like. So I have to come up with cunning other ways of fulfilling those types of obligations. So I'll talk about that in a little bit too.
Yeah,
that's cool. Because I've been thinking about some unique ideas when we were talking about this episode. So maybe they'll come up as well. Very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm a very crafty person. I do actually make a lot of gifts, so I will be talking about some of the things that I've made, some of the things you can do cheaply or easily, or anyway, we'll get to that. For those of you now that you're ready to hear about gifts that you can give your DMs, your GMs, your players, we're going to kind of cover gifts that we've received. We've already said that gifts we received, gifts we've given, and ideas for maybe things that we wish we had, especially as DMs, I think.
A bit of wish fulfillment, a bit of show and tell.
Yeah, if you just put it out into the world, maybe it'll just come to you. I'm just gonna say, I tell my husband this every year.
Lamborghini.
For you, maybe. No, for me, it's funny. My husband asks me for my birthday and for Christmas, what's the thing that I would always want? And he knows I love dice. I love dice. And he thinks that like it would get old, so he doesn't want to get them for me, and I have to assure him every time like that's okay.
It's perfectly fine
for me. So I thought we would start off with like dice and dice accessories. That's a very easy one, right?
That's a great idea.
GMs and players need dice. So let's talk about some of the dice we've gotten, some of the dice we've given.
While it's the last show, let's talk about the Paulo Garbanzo 21-sided. I have it right here. Yeah, the 21.
Oh, you weren't there for this show.
No, I missed
it's not 21-sided though. It is a D21.
No, it's not. It just has a 21 on the 20 side. I
have
find
one
it
too.
right.
Yeah, hold on.
But of course, we got to talk about our buddy Paulo.
We see that at all.
There
we go.
21 side. There it is. Perfect.
Wow.
Yours works much better than mine.
Bizarre.
So yeah, I was just gonna mention, with friends of the show, we have a few friends of the show who are currently selling some things. But yes, if we're talking about dice, you can go to Nat 21 Adventures, search for that, and we'll put the link in the chat and the doobly-doo and all that. But as a friend of the show, I will tell you, not only did I get one of those for myself, but I did buy a few of them for my friends for Christmas because it's just something interesting and unique.
It's like spoilers if your friends are listening. It's spoilers.
It is, but by the time this episode comes out, they will have already gotten them, so it won't.
Okay.
Gotcha. I got given some amazing dice from one of my players, Avery, who you guys talked to when we were streaming.
Let's see. I'm anxious. See, this is where I'm ready.
These are the dice you gave me. They're super light.
Those are the metal tooled where they cut out the surfaces, right? So
they're hollow.
They are hollow. This set is hollow. And Avery, I believe he coated them or recoated them.
You got to put your hand behind it or something maybe to get it to focus. Yeah.
It
looks very sparkly.
I know what they look like. And now here's another good example. I just got to play my first live game in person with people, and I got to see those metal dice. Russell, how do you feel about the balance with those types of dice?
I love these dice. These particular dice are basically my favorite dice, to be fair. I use them as possible. I have another set of metal dice, which were not gifted to me, but I bought them at Armageddon. These are much heavier, and they are kind of like, they feel like lead. They're really heavy.
Right. And those are the ones with the reinforced edges. Like the edges are metal, and then the surface has the paint with the number sort of etched up, right?
It's kind of embossed. The numbers are embossed.
Yeah.
So it's how to see if I can get that to focus.
See, now, Amber, you get to keep all your dice, right?
Yes.
So now I get to see these, and I love them so much. Do either of you have the coins?
No.
Dice coins?
No.
Now, just talk about them briefly while you guys are lining up. So, dice coins, it's like a flat coin. You flip it, but there's like a little thing inside a bead that like rolls to different areas, and then it lets you know what number it is. First time I've ever seen anything like that.
Interesting.
So that was amazing. What do you got, Amber? You got something cool there, dice wise. Come on, dice.
I have so many.
That's a coin.
There you go. You got a coin.
Yeah. That was given to me, actually, funnily enough. I just remembered by a player, a gold coin to use as a prop. So that's quite cool.
Okay.
And you could also use it as kind of like a D2 if you ever needed a D2,
Yeah. And it looks Elven or something printed on it, but I honestly can't read it because my eyes are failing. I think it's but anyway.
Anyway, so my husband plays a gunslinger character, and so when I first came across these, now by the way, you can get dice. I like to purchase some of my cooler, what I call my cooler dice, on Etsy because I like the idea that they're handmade and all that. But
Right,
I
right.
think you can get these now on Amazon as well. So for a gunslinger, you get this set. It looks like the barrel of a gun, right? And then
Right.
you pull the top off, if I can pull the top off, and it looks like you have bullets, and each one is this one is
Oh my God, that's great.
this
They
it
D6.
says right there. So it says this is the D8. So you
Right.
just roll it.
Right.
Trying to find. Here's the D20.
They are cylindrical.
Right. So you just kind of roll it,
Oh,
and for a
brilliant.
gunslinger, these are a lot of fun. So
Right.
and you can get them in various colors, like the bullets can look silver, or gold or copper or whatever. So that one was a lot of
Especially
fun.
if you have that werewolf hunter, need
Yeah.
those silver bullets, right, Russell?
Oh,
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Need
yeah, I
those
hadn't
silver
thought about
bullets.
that.
They do
Also,
aggravated damage to werewolves, as far as I'm aware.
I think so. I believe so.
if I ever need to brain my husband because he said something that he shouldn't have, this thing
Oh my
is so
gosh, what is
heavy.
that?
It's a metal D100, but it is weighty.
Oh,
It is very, I feel like
wow.
this is about, it feels like a 5 pound like free weight. It's pretty
Okay, so
heavy. It's chunky.
so I have here while she's talking about that, I have the antique
Ooh, yeah.
original die 100. It's got like the beads inside that have to like counterbalance it so it falls right.
Yeah.
But
I
again,
only have this D100.
Yep.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, the metal set. Nice, nice. Yeah.
I
Cool.
actually, yeah, and I'll be
I have a
be
few
fair.
of those, to be fair.
I don't actually use that D100 a lot because it's so heavy. I'm afraid I'm going to dent my table if I
Right.
roll it, and it is very hard to tell exactly what number it's on because there's just so
Okay.
many on the circle. So it may not be very practical, but it is kind of a cool like thing to have. So
I agree. I don't think I ever used this because it just rolls. It just
Right.
keeps going. It's gone
Right.
away.
all right. So have you guys seen the liquid core dice?
I have seen them, but I
Yeah.
haven't used, never actually
right.
rolled one.
Let me-
Now I'm excited. No.
Yeah, I should have had it already ready, but I have so many dice. I was trying to. Okay, this one might
So I'm
be
gonna
hard
put
to
it-
see.
Let's see.
So basically, these are all kind of hollow, not hollow. They're filled with liquid that's kind of glittery, so that when you roll it, you can kind of see
Oh.
the swirl. So the entire set, this kind of looks like ice, which is why I really liked
Gotcha.
it. Yeah.
Are they balanced dice with a liquid inside them? Is that
Yeah.
the balance?
I wonder
I
how
have
does the
no
balance work for those?
they seem fine. Yeah, I don't know if there you go. You can kind of see
Now
the
what
swirl a little
what
bit.
is inside of them?
I have no idea. I mean, dice makers know. I have no idea.
Now Russell, it's
Gel
interesting.
ice.
It's interesting you mentioned that about the balance. So I'm at this in-person game and someone shows me these dice, an 8-sided that had a tiny little skull in it. And a 6-sided that was cast with, I can't remember what the other thing was. And I was thinking the very same thing to myself is,
Right.
man, if this skull is like sitting towards the one, is this like, it's a
Right.
cool dice to have in your collection, but
Yeah. Do you,
know,
trust it for random numbers?
or maybe it is, it's your lich die, I don't know.
Maybe
I
you
don't
want
know.
that kind of certain chaos factor to come into it.
Yeah,
It's
something to
chaos.
consider. Yeah, something to consider in your game. Yeah.
I'm
Right.
trying to find. So my
While
favorite.
Amber's still digging the dice.
I don't know, well,
Go ahead. I'm waiting.
My favorite set and probably the most expensive set. This one was custom made, handmade from a dice maker in Ireland, and they were, I don't know, like $160 for this dice set. Yeah, and I'm trying to find the D20 because it's a lot easier to see. But they're clear
Okay.
with gold letter or gold numbering, but
Oh, wow.
inside there's like moss and flowers and
Wow.
gold
Okay,
flakes,
gotcha.
and so it's very very elegant druid kind of a feel, which and they had little mini mushrooms, which I love too, so very
Aw.
druidy. However,
Nice.
conversely,
Nice.
my one of my cheapest pairs that I use for my barbarian is clear with like skulls in them. This one's going to be hard to see. Let me find another one.
Now again, that's what we were just talking about. These skulls inside. Is this throwing this die off? What's going on?
I don't think so, but I mean, you tell me and see, you can't really tell. It just looks like decayed teeth or something.
It's sort of a cool science project, but again,
Yeah.
I don't collect dice, so I can't go into the experiment right now.
Right.
Maybe I will find value in getting a few of these strange dice and giving it a little test. Maybe it's a good show topic.
We can test our dice.
Test our dice. Now, while we're talking about dice, the two of you, Russell ducks one way. He's got a cool thing behind his head.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a huge 20-sided, right?
Oh, that guy, right?
Yeah.
He's got his giant 20-sided. Now, behind me, I have my eye is glowing. That's also a 20-sided back there that changes color. But I was lucky enough to also find the 12-sided.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Right? So while we're talking about dice, and again, this one, if I can.
Well, now
pull
I
this
feel
off.
deprived that I don't have a giant die.
Now this one changes color when you get it going, and then you can stop it at a color you desire, or turn it off again and then get it started again. So I love these dice. I found this at Books A Million. I'm sure these are bookshops going around. Yeah, this is really cool. And then this one's battery, which was nice. But this one is USB.
Oh, okay.
That's
cool. That's
to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
you can roll that one.
Yeah.
Mine you can't roll. That one's got a plug in the bottom, and then of course there is no balance with the
Yeah, I would think not.
batteries.
Yeah.
We used this one at our Spookers event, which was I played Vlad, Dracula, and so on, and we had a big group of like 30 or 40 people taking turns rolling the dice and attacking Vlad and stuff. So yeah,
awesome!
Fun.
Now,
But,
Amber, you have your die mug.
Well,
Your
yes,
dice mug,
but I'm
everyone's
gonna
seen,
get
right?
to mugs later. So of other dice accessories, right? Dice bags. I've showed this off probably a couple times, but when we talk about handmade, I made these for so anybody who crochets, it's basically crocheted underneath, and then I bought dragon scales and I just added the dragon scales and then the bag and all that. And so all of my not my players, the other game that I play in, I made these bags in different colors because they're meant to look like dragon eggs, right? So I kind of knew, because we've been friends for a long time, I knew everybody's favorite colors and what color represented their character. And so I made a bunch of dice bags and they looked like I had multicolored dragon eggs. So I talked to the DM and I said, hey, it happened to be around our Christmas session. And I said, hey, is there any way we can incorporate in the game these bags as like a gift? Like, is there a festival nearby where we can make this like a thing that they win and I can hand it over the table? And he goes, I got you. I have an idea. He goes, wherever you guys are going to be, I'm not going to tell you because he didn't want to give spoilers for the session. I'm going to give you a kind of like a little wink, wink, because there's going to be two different treasure chests. One of them will have these dragon eggs, and then you can present them to the friends. He goes, the other one, I'm not going to tell you anything about that. But once you hear that there's two treasure chests, that's your cue when they open it. And I was like, perfect. So it worked out.
Your DM, your DM had a thing, you as the player had an opportunity in the game to give out gifts in the middle. That's awesome.
Yeah. So basically, I just waited. And then when they picked the lock and then found these dragon eggs, I got to hand these things over to everyone. And they were just like, whoa! And they were like going crazy. And to this day, everyone at the table, they bring these. This is what everybody uses to hold their dice. So it's
now, Russell, have you ever been in that situation where you've done
here's another
players able to give gifts over or incorporated the gift directly into the game? That's intriguing. I've never even heard of that. And you're a pro DM, so I'm just wondering.
Trying to think, I've had players turn up and hand over everybody, all the other players, a mini, for example, in a little glass jar from Hero Forge. Super freaking expensive. I don't know how, but that's what they did. That was
and wait, while you talk about that, the live game I went to, they made us all our minis.
Yeah,
right, exactly. Well, that's what we're talking about, exactly. So everybody got given to them, which was really nice. I try to give out like information packs and stuff, but that's more game stuff. It's not really gifts. So yeah,
I think that's an awesome story, Amber. I mean,
Thank
that's
you.
incredible. Your DM did that too. It's a really great story to share. I'd love to do something like that. You know, give somebody an opportunity to incorporate that into their game. It's really cool.
Yeah.
No,
So I
cool.
have one more little thing. So I make miniature versions so that, and this is like a keychain. So you can basically have a D20 on the go wherever you are. And
mini dice.
it's just big enough to hold a die, a D20, and that's it. So I wanted to mention, I'm actually going to be doing a giveaway on my channel.
Wow.
So for those of you who are watching our episode, come find me at Purdy Nerdy on YouTube. I'm going to be making a video and I'm going to be giving away one of these. So
those would make very nice gem bags as well.
Oh,
Just put that in your. I'm going to put that into your craw there, as I am the gem collector in the group. Kind of that's a nice gem bag for someone. All right, anyway, I'll put that out there as an idea.
Right.
Put a gem in there for your DM that you can switch out for your dice.
Now, I've got a story, but it's not really. It's about a specific gift that blew my mind. Is this the appropriate time for that?
If you'd like to, You know,
Okay, well,
we're not, being super strict here.
No.
I turned up to this session a couple of months back. It was a game called Sunfall. And one of the players, Sean, gives me this envelope. And I'm like, what's this? And he's like, well, you open it. And it's got this waxen seal on the outside of it. I'm like, what the hell is that? So I'm very, very careful not to destroy the seal. And I open the envelope. And inside it is a bunch of stickers, which he made for me, including some of these ones. At the time, that was my logo at the time, so that was quite cool. So I have those logos plastered everywhere.
A free action. Crying is
a free action. Then he gives me another box. He hands me this box that looks like this, and it's got another wax seal on it, which in this case has actually come off. And so I'm opening it up, and what the hell's in this?
Hold it up a little bit higher, Russell. Can you hold up the box a little bit higher so we can see the whole box? Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Right. So, in fact, I forgot, but earlier he'd already given me a mini of a Drider.
Nice.
It painted up. I don't know if you can see that very well.
Yeah, I can see that pretty well because of the darkness. Yeah, it looks great.
That was awesome. And then he gives me, in this new box, 12 of these orcs, which he's painted up.
Wow.
Which are freaking amazing. And that does not include, these are all very individual orcs. This is my favorite one, I think. He's got like a banner and stuff, but some of them have drums and horns and weapons and stuff. They're actually, I think they're Warhammer minis, but they're perfect little orcs.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. And then he gives me another box and he's like, well, this one's not what it looks like on the outside. So I'm looking at it. Not a box of monster cards. Okay, so what is it? So I open this one.
I'm minimalist. He's reutilizing a box.
Yeah.
Right. I like that. That's great.
3 giant bats he gives me.
Nice.
This is because we had a lot of red fang encounters in our game with the red fangs right around on giant bats. So they were fighting a lot of bats. So this box has 3 of these guys. They're all different as well. A couple of months later, he gives me these 2 red wizards because there's a lot of red wizards in my game as well, which he also painted up. He gave me one other thing, which actually might be cooler than all of those. And I just realized that I had it. He gave me a whole bunch of these paper printed cutouts that I could lay down on my maps for things like the radius of darkness or the radius of a moonlight.
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
Right. So you could and they're all printed, so they're beautiful. And he printed them all out and cut them out and what have you, and gave them to me in an envelope. These were amazing gifts. It blew my mind. And then he gave me, beyond that, he's also given me, because somebody gave him 2 copies of it and he wanted to give one away, he gave me a copy of Radiant Citadel.
Oh, nice.
As well. So yay, thank you, Sean. That was one of the coolest gifts.
Wait, this started out all the way with the first box with the sticker?
Yeah.
So all the way. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was just one thing after the other. To be fair, the Radiant Citadel thing was a separate thing, and these 2 guys were separate as well. So, those came on different days, but wow, mind-blowing that someone cares about your game enough to sort of invest in it like that and want to assist your DM and
That's great.
That's actually
so
a
great.
great
I'm
way to
gonna
look at it. Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to skip off there because the stickers is another thing that's really kind of important to me.
Mhm.
And Amber, you were talking about some make it at home things. I wanted to bring up, I have to keep things in containers because of
Right.
my condition, right? So I love metal containers.
Oh,
And
fun.
what my daughter did was she started collecting stickers. This is a big 20-sided with a tongue that kind of looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh ball from our local
Yeah.
comic shop.
Right.
And that's the other one with a rainbow. And then she found stickers from that popular show on Netflix that talks about the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then a place we go for, she put some personalizes where we go for our farmers market we go
Uh-huh.
to. She knows I love Star Wars and Alice in Wonderland.
That's so
So kind of
nice.
neat. And this became a pen holder.
Yeah.
So kind of neat things for we were talking about dice containers
Right.
before Russell jumped us, and I was like, oh, I got to show my
Right.
thing my daughter made for me.
Yeah.
Kind of neat
Yeah.
little make it your own gift. If you can't afford something, you could make something like this for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, fairly easy to do. And stickers make it very customizable. And there's many stickers out there.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm really anxious. You have on the list dice towers. Do you guys
Yes.
have dice towers and dice trays and stuff?
I do not. I do not. I
You
have.
do not.
I don't have
I
my
do
dice
not.
tray. Oh, here we go.
I have a dice tray. Yes.
I have
Now,
dice trays,
whilst-
but I wanted to tell you about the dice tower real quick. I don't have
okay,
one
okay.
here, but we have in the game that I play in, we have so many of us have 3D printers, right? So one of the
Okay.
guys 3D printed this really cool dice tower that looks
Yeah,
like
Russell, I've never seen one of those before.
it looks like a castle tower, but what's great about it is it had little spots to put magnets, and then it also came with these little plastic pieces that look like banners that stick on the side of the tower, and basically that becomes our initiative tracker. So
Initiative
it's a
counter as well.
so it's
as
a
the
dice tower and an initiative tracker. So he gifted that to the DM, and now we use that at the table. It's
Ooh.
wonderful, great gift for the
Now
team.
this is something I'm obsessed with is dice towers because I can't have one.
Yeah.
So I've taken pictures of dice towers for the last year. I've taken so many. I say the one that really has stolen my heart is they have the statue from the player's handbook. And I
Oh,
believe
cool.
you can even find the date, the file, I don't know what they're the files for that to do on your own 3D printers at home.
Yeah.
And I also saw on Facebook that someone also has the files for the two thieves that are ripping out the gem in the guy's eye on the cover, so you can make them as well to put on the goblins. So I think that's a really cool classic dice D&D dice tower setup for all the ones I've taken pictures of over the last year.
Right.
That's a really, really cool gift if you can find that one out there.
Yeah. That's awesome. And then
Now,
I think
Russell, you were showing the bag. That's like, is that a bag and a dice tray, or
that's just a dice tray?
that's the kind that I have. I love that one.
And you just break it open and it flattens out.
Right.
And now you have a flat object that can go in your bag or something.
Exactly. It's great for travel. Like when I go to my DM, I have a dice tray that looks exactly like that. And then you can purchase ones like these. These are square, but on Amazon. And so there you can get like a pack of 6 for something really cheap. So like if you're a DM and you have like a new players at your table, you could be like, here you go. I mean, so easy. I have these on hand just for that reason. New players. First one's free. I'm gonna get you in. Here's a dice tray.
Here I am, super creative guy. What's the material? What's that made of?
So this feels like kind of it's like a felt material on both sides, actually.
This for me, this side's shiny and flat and seems to be made of some kind of polythene,
leather, kind of
leather or plastic, or some sort of
that makes me think a leather worker could make really cool ones.
Yeah.
Could make custom ones and everything. Yeah. I'm sure there's lots of different custom styles out there of that style.
Right.
Yeah, I never had anything like that. We used to just play on a pool table. That's as close as we got to felt dice back in the 80s.
2 other gifts that were given to me. This one was given by Avery also, but that's because he wants to play Eberron. So, these players, they do have their reasons.
Right. I was going to get to that when you said something last time was, players, you can make your gift twofold to the DM, which is, yeah, you want to play an Eberron, gift your DM the book for Eberron, and then it's a little bit of it's self-serving, but also like your DM's not going to care. They're going to be so excited they got the book.
Right. And they've already got a player sorted out for it too. So awesome.
So I
Yeah.
wanted to
Well,
go ahead.
D&D is great. D&D is great that way.
Yeah.
That's what's so awesome about it.
And some
Absolutely.
of these books and supplements that you can give people also have things like maps in them. Like that's the Dragonlance map from there.
Yeah.
Eberron also has an enormous map, which I'm planning to put up at some point soon. You know, so there's all sorts of things that go with that. If you get the full Dragonlance set for your DM, you could get them the deluxe edition that comes with the board game that goes with the game.
Right.
So there's that. And then there's all the different special covers. Like that's the special cover of Dragonlance. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
And just players, there's no harm in like if something like that is super expensive for your budget, like I can't buy that for my DM. Get together as a group, split the cost, right? You know, because then it's like what, maybe $10 a person, but now you've got a really cool gift for your DM.
Right.
So
I'm gonna stop you there.
uh-huh.
Many years ago, I've shown this before on the show, but that's my players. The first gift I ever got as a DM, these guys got together and got me the pewter dragon mug. And when I had to give up all my Dungeons and Dragons stuff because it was paper, this was the only metal thing I had. It was like,
yeah,
keeping my chalice.
I have a thing
But
to
they
keep.
they have all kinds of cool things, and like we were talking about before with silver bullets and stuff. Find out what your DM's into.
Yeah.
I've seen all kinds. They have druids, they have wizards, they have fighters, they have helmets, they have swords, they have dragons, they have it goes on and on and on and on. So
Right.
Always nice.
Wait, wait, because I know. We have so many things we can talk about, and I only have one more dice thing to show off, and then we can move off of dice, but just one more.
Go ahead.
So my husband is a little crafty in the garage, right? And this, I was so shocked because usually it takes a little prompting or like helping him come up with some kind of an idea for people. But he came up with this all on his own. He wanted to make and gift everyone at my table dice jails. But what he did was he crafted them. This is wood, right? He has a brand, so he branded it with an S, so everyone knows he made it.
Right.
But he stained them differently, so everyone knows whose is whose. I got to pick my own stain because I like this color. And these are just nails. Right. So easy. All he did was just nail it through. And there's a little hole here. And so he made little dice jails for everyone. Yeah. So just wanted to share that real quick.
What a great gift idea. Yeah, super easy.
It's like a little oubliette for dice.
You know, if this dice is bad, then you just throw it in jail and you don't talk to it again for the rest of the session.
Wow.
So anyway,
Go
sorry,
ahead, Russell. I know you're holding something under. I'm anxious. So anybody watching might be. Come on, let's see. What do you got?
Couple of years ago now, I just started my YouTube channel, and I was working with a fellow at the time, and for whatever reason, he ended up having to go off and do his own thing. But he was bringing like the camera and the lights and everything to the game, or to the show that we were making. And I found myself on my own with a shitty webcam going, what am I going to do? So one of my players, a fellow by the name of, I'm going to say Eric, gave me this camera.
Oh, wow.
Bought this brand new for me to start reshooting my YouTube videos and such.
Wow.
So pretty cool. It was like a $700 camera at the time.
Wow.
Since then, I've got yet another camera here, which was also given to me, but that was from my family. So that was nice.
Remarkable.
Yeah. So,
wait, dice. You said dice. One more dice, and I just want to ask this. We've been on the show a year. Have you guys ever seen a 34-sided before?
I've never seen one like that.
And why?
Yeah, that is interesting.
Must be a specific game system, I'm assuming.
Maybe.
And I have no idea. I got this way back when, and when I had to give up everything, I kept this because I had no idea.
You never know. Could be
somebody made it by mistake, and then they decided to build a system around it.
All right.
Okay.
If you're out there and you know, leave it in the comments below. If you
that's
know
a great
what
idea.
The heck this thing is for. All right. Thank you.
By the way, I think there's like a Reddit or subreddit where like you can submit a picture and go, what is this thing? Because you have no idea. And someone is bound to know. I love checking that. But anyway, sort of dice, but sort of not. Someone gifted me with this ring. It's kind of a fidget ring, like it spins, but it's a D20. It's all numbers up to 20. The problem is it doesn't really spin very freely. So it's not great for actually using it as a D20, but it's just really fun to play with sometimes at the table, like a good fidget thing.
Yeah,
That's really cool too.
Yeah.
So on the subject of tech stuff, one of my players gave me a freaking laptop.
Oh wow!
In order to keep up with the game and take two sessions and what have you, because I think they were just tired of me borrowing their laptops because I do everything. I mean, at home, this is a big ass gaming computer, but you can't take that to a restaurant. You can't take that to somebody's house. So I was borrowing other people's laptops, and then eventually this player, this one had like a pixel missing on the screen. I think that's the only thing wrong with it, and he gave it to me, and I'm like, wow, it's incredible. So that changed my life as far as being able to run D&D goes.
Yeah.
Now it's funny, in the back of my mind, the other thing I'm thinking about is technology. You know, if you're working with a DM who runs Zoom, offering, to offer that subscription or say, hey, can I help you pay towards your subscriptions and stuff? That's really something to think about nowadays. Or giving your DM, just some, if they're an Apple user, some Apple credit to go get some technology out there.
Yeah,
you don't want to buy them something specific.
D&D Beyond, those membership as a DM, having all the different like packets, if you will, so that you have all the different races, all the different classes, all the different adventures. I think the full all-in membership is like wildly like
$600 or something.
It was 600.
Hey,
I want to say it's higher.
Now, guys, I'm going to be honest. It's gifted to me. We have one friend who started us off, and all of us have joined together and have bought books, and it's become this huge conglomerate of all of what we are together. So it's
you can share your campaigns and resources on D&D.
Exactly. So that's why, as a gift to your DM, you all can band together and get this, because it's only going to benefit you as a player to have access to all this as well.
With D&D Beyond, if you do run a lot of games, you should keep in mind that you can only share resources with 3 campaigns. So if you're like me, you'll find yourself logging into those campaigns and enabling and disabling the campaigns and the sharing content quite frequently.
Right.
Which is a pain in the ass, but it's doable. So keep that in mind.
Well, you can have up to 25 different players, though, right, on one license. Is that correct? 20.
It's not under license; it's under campaign, as far as I'm aware.
Under the campaigns, and then I know the other one is to gift players. If a player doesn't have a subscription to D&D Beyond, they're just limited to those 6 slots.
I think so,
right. And they don't really have a lot of access if they want to really get more into the game and stuff. So
that's true. Conversely, it does work for players as well. You're right. That's a great idea.
This also works for Foundry and other VTTs as well.
I was thinking that. That was the next thing I was going to say, Russell. All those things are great gifts to think about.
Sirenscape,
that's another self-server.
It's
another self-server.
Incarnate is what I've been using for maps, and I'm finding it pretty damn useful.
It
produces some pretty decent maps.
Yeah.
So subscriptions are
all
great.
The different subscriptions, all the different tech things.
Talking about books, Russell's been showing us some books. I went to that in-person game. I had to bring a gift. My DM, and I talked about this before on the show, used a Traps, Puzzles, and Dungeon book that was just released by Jeff Ashworth. And Jeff Ashworth has done a whole series of books. One is Random Encounters, one is Dragons, Random Tables, Villains, Minions, and Tactics, and Protective Role-Playing. And it's really cool is the one about dragons has a foreword by Luke Gygax.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
I was surprised to see, So I found these books in Barnes and Noble. They're really great 5e supplements. I couldn't decide which one. So I ended up picking the dragon one out. And the dragon one itself had some really cool dragons from literature statted out. And then it had 1-page maps, like some really good maps. You can just open the book and use them for your minis. Then it also had mini adventures with dragons in the back. Like such a good resource. I know the Traps book that my DM was using that he got. I couldn't look at it because he's like, don't touch the books. You're old school, so you don't touch that book. But it was great, and I've talked about those on this show before too. So Jeff Ashworth, that whole series of books, they're called the Game Masters books.
Interesting.
And then it says the Game Masters books of the Game Masters Traps, Dungeons, Encounters, non-player characters, blah 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 blah. Sorry, they're really great.
No.
Check them out.
That's fine. And since you mentioned Luke, he's another friend of the show, and we put on our Facebook page, I think just today or maybe recently, that the shoes that he had talked about, the shoes that he had prototyped in our episode, are available now. So we will drop that link in the episode so that you guys can maybe go check those out. They're really cool sneakers. There's like the blue dragon, and then I think one's like a red kind of a flamey.
Well, you have that. Wait,
pattern.
no, you have the red. You have the red fire dragon shoe.
That's what it was.
And then you have the Beholder versus. I think it's an elf. It could be a Eldritch Knight, but that's a Gary Kahn logo.
Yeah.
On the blue shoe, I believe the red shoe is just a dragon design.
Right.
They're awesome.
They're
also
cool,
high top and low top. I noticed when he gave us our sneak peek, we only got
the low top. Yeah. So that's at Gaxworks.
Awesome.
Yeah, Gaxworks.
I remembered I have given out a couple of gifts now that I actually go back through my head and think about it. I realized
Go ahead, hit us.
I've given out one of my players for his birthday. I gave him a mini for his character, which we were shooting in. We were playing online, but I was using a battle map and a second camera. So I got a mini for his character instead of one of my generic minis that I was using. So he got to use that. And because minis come in sets of 2, I gave him one of the 2 and I have the other one. So we have 2 of the set of the same mini, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. One of my other players, Barry, I talk about from time to time, he also being quite severely disabled. I got him a microphone. It was a snowball mic, so that he could communicate online and sound decent, sound good online. And I got him a green screen as well to go behind him so he could have a background on Zoom.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's nice.
Yeah, those are quite useful things to do.
Talking about, gifting your players with minis and stuff. I think we talked about Hero Forge. I can't remember, but Hero Forge, you can get credit or like gift cards. And I think you can also just purchase like digital credit on Hero Forge. And if you've messed around on there, it's super cool because you can make your own customized mini. But then, and if you pay to have them print it, I mean, obviously the quality is great, but you can also just pay, I think it's $4.99. And you get the digital STL file. So if you know anyone that has a 3D printer, now you've got a $5 mini. I mean, it's a completely affordable gift.
These were done by by Files. They did these. Now what's really cool, Amber, you know what they did for me on this?
What?
I had said that Jinx has a dragon skull on his belt.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they did it, but they did a custom dragon skull there for me.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, Hero Forge, if you mess around, I mean, there's almost nothing that you can't do on there.
They did a great job. I mean, it's amazing.
That one mini that I showed you with the half dragon, half whatever with wings, like that was all from Hero Forge. You can make just about anything on there. And then $5 for the STL file. But I think they also do now where you can just pay for the digital file, like a digital image, and then you can use them as tokens for your online games. So instead of having a physical mini, you can gift everyone with like custom tokens.
The files. Right?
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Now, I'm visiting a bookstore. There's so many things, you can cut into the fantasy novel section and, buy your DMs just some fantasy books, give them some time, a break away from the campaign or
to get inspired by something.
Yeah. Right. The other D&D thing I saw is really cool out there. See, this is where I'm a minimalist, guys. I go into the store and I look at everything because I can't take it home.
Yeah.
Right. They have out this season classic D&D postcards.
Nice.
And what they are is it's all the classic art going all the way back to the original books with all the covers without, the lot writing on them. Right. And then full page inserts from all the old books and then coming all the way up to 5e. So you
Wow.
have some of the best art from 1,
So
2,
cool.
3, 4, 4 and 5,
Right.
all as postcards in a box.
How
I was
many
like,
postcards are you talking about?
"Ugh." I think the box said 250,
Wow, that's
but I did the little open the seal to get it looks like there are repeats.
oh,
Ah.
So I'm not sure. I'm thinking there might be 75,
Okay.
and it's repeated 3 times.
okay.
Or I'm not sure. Or there might be different dimension cuts where it's like maybe close-ups of
right.
some.
That makes
I'm not sure exactly because the guy was looking at me at Barnes and Noble. It's like, what's he doing over there?
Well, I also realize I must not forget Avery's other gift. He gave me another computer, which I have over there. It's not set up right now, but it is for streaming eventually when I get a keyboard monitor and an arm for the monitor to go with. So there will be another computer just for monitoring streams. Thanks to Avery, one of my players, who's done so many things and been so generous. With time too. So yeah, yay for Avery and yay for players.
Yes. So I wanted to touch base also on, since we were talking about like minis and 3D printing and all the stuff that you could make with that, and having technology at your hands, right? If you have a 3D printer within your group or your DM has one, supply them with the material to actually print stuff. This is the
That's a great idea.
PLA
yes.
filament, right? It's just black, right? Because that's easy to have black minis and then you can paint them. But there's some really
stop.
cool. Yeah.
Stop. Now I don't know a lot about that. Hold that back up again.
Okay,
Please,
I'm
me.
sorry.
Recognize.
Yeah.
So now, is that whole thing filled when you get one? Like,
yes.
is it like?
It's usually
Wow,
completely filled, and
and how much does it? How much? Can you tell me how much it is filled?
So
how much does that cost?
So
if
this
someone
here
wanted to get that?
costs. This is the brand. There's so many different brands and stuff, but this is the brand I like.
Okay.
It's usually about. Well, I haven't checked the price in a while, but it was about $25 for a box, and I could probably print. If we're just talking minis alone, I could print probably a good 300 minis maybe out of this.
That's a great gift, though. That's a
Right?
great gift, though.
That's just miniatures.
Yeah,
Now,
then.
I usually miniatures don't work well on my 3D printer. I print a lot of terrain, so I go through it a little bit faster. But that's the thing is, just for $25, your DM can make so much, or whoever has the 3D printer can make so much, and you can refill them. But what's really cool is, aside from black, they have some really cool filament that when you print, it looks clear. So you could have like invisible minis. There's some that print that are kind of like an ombre color. So if you were to print a dice tower, it could look like it's going from like gray to like a blue, and it's all shiny and iridescent. Like, there's really cool colors that you can get for your 3D printer. So get them just the supplies.
Be aware, your DM's into it, man. That's a great, something they might not buy themselves either.
Out of curiosity, how much is a 3D printer?
Well, so they're actually getting a lot cheaper and accessible now. The one that I have is probably the mainstream, easy, cheap one that you can get. It was about $300. It's an Ender 3. Okay, so most people who are into 3D printing will know what that Ender 3 is. Again, not great for minis, great for larger pieces and terrain. Like the finer details sometimes gets a little lost. But the better, like let me just say that if I weren't doing terrain and I wanted to do minis, this is not the printer I would use. I would go up, and it would probably be about $600 for that 3D printer, because it's a different material. It's resin. So and we can have a whole episode on 3D printers.
I was gonna say, that's all I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I have, like, my daughter has just like the little pen, what was that, $25, and you can still make things.
You can still make things, yeah.
Make things with it. But again, it's the filament is the big gift.
Exactly.
There, to keep making things. That's a great idea, Amber.
Right.
Thank you for sharing that with everybody.
No problem. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
So we had started talking about text and books and stuff. So I have a few of those things as well.
Go ahead. Hit us. Hit it. Go ahead.
I'm going to start with my heavy hitter, because I thought about it today and I thought, man, why don't we do this? Okay. We've talked big about role playing, right? Or at least I know Russ is very heavy into role playing. And I see a lot of people asking, like, how do I, my character, this thing happened, and how do I act this way, but not really give away that I feel this way, right? As a writer, I have this thing called an emotion thesaurus. And basically, what it is like if you want to convey anger, then here, let me see if I can find it. Okay, disappointment. You want to convey disappointment, then here's what the body language looks like for being disappointed. Here's what your internal sensations would be like to kind of help like put yourself into character. Here's what the mental responses would be if someone says something, maybe this is how you would respond. So it has this for all the different emotions: curiosity, happiness, confidence, anxiety. And so as if you had a player, this is what I would do. If there was a player who is struggling with role playing, I would probably gift this to them so that they can kind of have a little bit more understanding of how to convey the emotion without saying, I'm angry and I want everybody to know I'm angry. Like if you want to enhance your role play, then maybe you're tapping your foot irritatedly, but you're not saying anything and your arms are crossed and you got a scowl on your face. Like that's all stuff that's in here. It's really cool.
Well, I'm also going to put out there that secretly all DMs are writers.
Right.
And that's a great gift for a DM.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, geez, that's really cool. Because then, you can think about, all right, this guy's going to be angry. Let me see what else instead of just what I would do.
Right. Yeah.
With this, let me see what this says. So
that's actually a great point.
Another great gift is a monthly pass to Rollstream. You get to play 4 games a month, 3 hours sessions. Give that to your kids or your husband or your partner.
That's true. Yeah.
You can get 2 or 3.
Yeah, we hadn't talked about that. That's a great idea too.
Yeah.
Get them right into the game.
Right, just like
Bang.
that.
Here you go.
So the other thing, which granted there's a lot of online resources for this now, but I had this book back before there were a lot of online generators. So it's just random tables, but I have a bunch of books like this. So one of the ones that I love is there's a section on things you find in people's pockets, which is great because I have the one character who likes to pickpocket all the time. And I'm always like, okay, you find.
This is the problem with being a minimalist. As a DM, you can never have too many books of random tables.
Yeah.
So not having any books, they're great gifts.
Right.
Well, actually, we go back to subscriptions. You could get your DM a subscription for ChatGPT so they can have the fucking happy advanced version of it, because ChatGPT will do all of this stuff.
Yeah,
that's true too.
Spitting out tables, that's what it's good at.
Oh yeah. And
so
then on demand, exactly what you need, right?
If you have a chef at your table, or someone, you guys always make food and stuff at the sessions. I'm sure you guys have seen this. So one of my players gifted this to me because they know I love this, and I was always the one making the food for the games, and I always try to plan the food to kind of match where we were at in the game. Like if we were in the fire realm, I would make something that incorporated like fire or red or something in the food. So it was always fun to have access to something like this that kind of gave me some really good creative ideas.
That's great. You've talked about that before. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
And then conversely, if you like to drink, there's D&D drink recipes.
Right. Nice.
Yeah. So I've actually made a few in here too. They're great.
And now the in-person game I went to was at a distillery called the Dragon Distillery, which is really cool because they actually distill their own booze.
What's it
this
called?
Is Dragon Dogs.
Frederick
Rye whiskey.
Wow.
By type of whiskey.
Wow.
Right. So that's kind of cool. But what they also had there was they had the random encounter drink, and you rolled a 10-sided die. Right. And you had a different drink for each one. There was the Minotaur, which had like beef broth and vodka. And then there was a gelatinous cube. And then I think
Dice and Fork too. The restaurant that I run games at, they have a cocktail where you roll a d20 for the cocktail.
That sounds like so much fun.
Anything like that is kind of cool as a gift too. Even if you just make a list for your crew and mix up some drinks and say, hey, let's have a random encounter party.
Also,
Yeah.
pizza is good. You can always buy pizza. Pizza's always going to be appreciated by
True.
everyone.
Yeah. Pizza gift cards. Yeah.
Bring pizza to the game.
That
So
is true. That is
talking
true.
about drinks, so I also like to make my own cocktails. I would, if I wasn't making the food, I would come up with some interesting cocktail that went with whatever we were doing. But I also found you can buy edible glitter that you can mix in your drinks so they kind of look all magical and stuff. So I would sometimes make little drinks to bring.
Oh my God.
It's just a little potion bottle,
Oh my God.
but it's
That
a
is
little
so cool.
right. So imagine just having a pre-made cocktail. It's already swirly. You're sitting at the table and you're like, I'm just gonna drink my potion, and
Oh,
ta-da.
where do you get the bottles from? The bottle's perfect too. That little pottle that you've got it
This
in.
is just, I just get it from like any craft store. They have them now.
I was gonna say
They kinda get a
craft
little
stores are amazing
pricey.
here in the States.
Awesome.
Russell.
Yeah.
They're
So
right. The closest I've got to
Um,
that is I filled up some empty pasta jars with some colored dye water. So I've got green, red, and blue.
oh,
up
I
there.
see that. Yeah. Yeah.
and I love old medicine bottles for that as
I
well.
do too. I love all the
Um,
old like pill what are they? The little tins. I
Yeah,
love
so think
those.
about that as a gift too, if you want to be unique for your DM.
Yeah.
DMs love that kind of any of that kind of stuff that can be used as props for your game.
Right.
So
that you
I've been given these by my friend Eric.
Those
These
are
are
fun.
little.
Oh, you were telling, yeah, this is a great
Healing
idea too.
The
They're
healing
healing
potion.
potions.
Yeah.
These ones have skulls on them, and the thing about these ones is they've got wax on the bottom, so you've got to be careful because you've got to shake them a bit to get them out of the wax.
Mhm.
Avery gave me this one, or several of these, that is basically the same idea but without the wax. And these
Yeah.
ones fall out of the bottle more easily. And I broke one of these, or was it one of those? I don't remember. One of them. I've got about
Yeah,
eight.
that's a great little kind of cute gift too. I mean, it doesn't even have to be in game. It's just
Mhm.
something you want to put together for your crew, your player, and you want to gift everybody for the holiday.
Right.
It's kind of a nice thing to, hey, everybody, I got you all a healing potion.
Exactly.
Oh, really? That would go on my shelf as a treasured gift for
So
a long
cool,
time.
right?
Yeah, it's something very simple. I like
Right.
that. It's really, really cool. I love it. Sorry, I'm getting all gushy.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But I think probably this is a good spot here to take a quick little break. And then when we come back, trust me, I don't know about you guys, but I still have like a good bunch of stuff to pull out.
I don't have much more really. I mean, in fact, I can pretty much be over after mentioning that I get art sometimes too. Some of my players, like that picture there.
Yeah.
Is one of our players in the Frostmoor Crows is the name of their campaign, and she does art. Maria, she does art for the campaign all the time. Every time we play, we end up with some funky picture like this, or
That's
there's a whole
awesome.
bunch of them.
She does great art, Russell. I want to put that out there. I always check out her stuff, man. It's awesome. It's
Yeah.
really awesome. And if you're out there listening, you should really go check it out. I'm telling you, it's the bomb.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Sorry.
Perfect. I love it. All right. So, folks, we're going to take a quick little break. During the break, we're going to show you some fun like videos, God and Angel, some, what are they called? Bad lip syncing. Yeah, bad lip reading. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And then when we come back, we're going to finish this. I hope so far you have seen some interesting, unique ideas you hadn't thought of, but I have saved a few of the best for last. So you want to come back. Okay. We're going to go.
I got a few hiding here still too.
You do? Good. All right, good. So we have all held back
Yeah,
a couple of things, and then we'll save them to the end.
I don't know that
So
I'm looking back. God damn it.
No, you're gonna find
You're fine.
gonna find those things in the break, Russell. Those circles you're telling us about. I want to see that stuff.
Right. Okay.
There
So
you
we'll
go.
find that.
All
All
right.
right.
All
Come
right,
back and
folks.
see them.
All right.
Yep.
See you soon.
See you soon. Hey folks, it's Giddis with our tabletop talk show, The Game. Did you know that I have my own YouTube channel? It's called Purdy Nerdy. What would you need it for? Well, Purdy Nerdy is a channel focused on world building for authors and tabletop gamers. Don't have time to prepare? Looking for something unique? Is world building a challenge for you? Why don't you outsource your ideation process? The Purdy Nerdy Talk Show interviews authors and DMs to get you an inside and in-depth look at where they get their ideas from and how they create. Authors like Journey Windrow.
Oh my, I have bouncing BBs or something. And it's not how women think.
And Bob Magoo.
Shockingly, meth wizards are not the most marketable of things. I write a series about a redneck wizard with a crippling meth addiction. 30% of people are like, oh my God, you have to tell me more. And 70% of people are like,
meth.
Okay, they back away slowly.
And coming soon, an interview with professional DM and co-host on the game, RKDM. Paolo Garbanzo, who you've recently seen on the game, shared on the Purdy Nerdy Talk Show his homebrew world Earth because it's 20% smaller than Earth. I offer tips that'll help you enhance your gameplay. Unique and fresh ideas to help you world build and create. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss out. Like this, or like this. Which side is it? This side. Thanks for getting Purdy Nerdy with me.
What's the haps?
Great shot, Todd. Spring break.
What?
Yeah, spring break, man. It's a human thing.
What do you mean? They're like phoning it in for an entire season? Who do they think they are? Game of Thrones?
Good one. They're not phoning it in. They're actually doing the opposite. They're going hard. They're phoning in work, that's for sure. Okay. School and stuff, but they are.
Let me see that.
They're getting after it.
Oh my God. Yeah, they're partying really hard down there. That looks like a good time. Whoa, what's causing all that?
I think there's a couple factors, but yeah, I've been watching. You know, I like to watch. And I can trace most of it back to this thing called White Claw.
White Claw.
Yes, White Claw.
White Claw. What is that, some kind of human beverage?
It is. It is. A delicious one, in fact.
Well, what's the catch here? What is there, like a lot of sugar? Humans love sugar.
Barely any. You wouldn't believe it.
My God, it must be bad for them?
I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Okay.
Or nerd.
Okay. Well, yeah, good point there. All right. Well.
And also, only 100 calories.
100 calories? 100 calories in a White Claw.
There's a variety of different flavors. They come in multi-packs.
What?
Other packs.
Are you serious?
Assortment packs.
All right, you've convinced me. I want one.
Packs.
Lightning bolt.
Yeah. Fucking.
Give me that.
Where am I?
You're dead, man.
Yeah, you're dead.
Dead?
Yeah, I killed you for this right here.
Did I land the backflip off the pong table? It was looking so cool.
No.
No,
you didn't.
Was it like heroic death at least? Like everyone was fucking watching?
No, you flopped around and then pooped your pants in front of everybody. Jessica saw too, and she was like, never liked him.
No.
She said that. She saw you die.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, you're up here now. The poop's gone.
Fine. The poop's
But
gone.
down there, your body just riddled with poop.
I think I see it.
They're still playing. Todd doesn't even care.
Yeah, no one really even noticed.
That Todd's a cool guy.
Todd just lives to pong, dude. That's all he knows.
He's hitting all the shots. He's the man.
Oh my God.
We like Todd.
He's got a golden arm.
I want to kill Todd so we can hang out with him, but also I want to see him live.
Dang, these are so good.
Right?
These
Can
are
I get a sip?
No, kill your own human for one.
Why are you always making me climb in the smallest of places?
Well, Jerry, this is the best way to get to the podcast that we need to steal this week.
It's always
like we do every week on Mondays.
Mondays, every Monday.
Religiously.
Sometimes I wish we could just walk through the door, but yeah. Every Monday on where do they find it?
On Spotify, Apple, anywhere that you can find podcasts. That's where we are.
I get so hot in these vents. I think they have the heater on.
Oh, Jeremy, don't move. Wait. Michael and Jeremy Steal Your Podcast every Monday, wherever you get your podcasts and stuff.
We're going to take your podcast and we're going to do it
better,
faster,
stronger,
hornier.
Yes.
In an hour.
Or more. Sometimes.
I'm out of spell components already, but I just bought some yesterday.
Oh, what a shame. If there was only some place we could buy spell components out in the middle of nowhere. Nowhere.
You rang? Welcome to the Minotaurium Emporium, where our prices are amazing.
Where in the hells did you come from?
If there's a sale to be had, I'll be there. Now, Dixie, I assume you want the usual?
Yes, please.
The usual, like Eye of Newton, Toe Frog.
No. You need bat guano and sulfur to cast a fireball.
Wait, so you're the reason that she's been smelling like rotten eggs and excrement all day?
To be fair, when you're around it as much as she is, you really don't notice it anymore.
Notice what?
Well, Nixie, you're in luck. The chronic case of bat constipation is finally over, and a fresh shipment of bats has just arrived. I'll be right back.
Wait, so if you need sulfur and bat guano to cast fireball, what other ingredients do you need for your other spells?
Oh, the usual. We've got, Etten earwax, bugbear boogers, Pegasus pimple pus. Bit of blood in that one. Ooh, Mr. Minotaurium's milk. You should try it. It's really good for your skin.
And yet, I won't.
Your loss. Well, what about you? What do you do to cast spells?
Lutes, flutes, knee-high boots.
Well, how do those help?
The finest bat excrement, freshly extracted, bottled, and ready for consumption.
Thanks.
When you say extracted...
Anything for a sale. Now, just add some sulfur and you're ready to go. Ooh. While you're here, might I interest you in some other form of defecation?
You mean that you have other creatures that you harvest excrement from?
I have a fresh batch brewing right now.
No, I think I'm okay. I tried it with Entreus's, but it didn't really work. Not enough fiber. Would you like it?
No, that's mine.
Well, thank you for putting my children through college. Same time tomorrow.
Yes, please. Oh, and just put it on my tab.
Oh, and just make sure you're out of the area before you use those.
I solemnly swear that I'll wait until you're out of the area before I cast Fireball. Oops!
Oh, Nixie, I knew you were crazy, but I didn't know that you were batshit crazy.
Did you know there are more spell components for Fireball? It's bat guano, sulfur, and...
earwax!
Liking the video. And also...
boogers?
No. Please consider going to our Patreon and buying our...
Pegasus pimple pus!
Merch. Buy our merch. It's not Pegasus pimple. It's hoodies and shirts and... We rehearsed this. You're fired. I'm fired. I fired myself.
So I can have all of this, right? This is all for me?
I don't care.
Thanks!
Oh, get this. So the midwife, candle in hand, inspected her secret area to see if the child was coming. Then she turns over and says, "That's the alleyway my husband uses as well."
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do either of you fine gentlemen know how to get to Bellham Bottom in Hampshire?
Ah, yes, sir. You want to head northeast and take the Frying Pan Trail just west of the Spitalfields.
Is that the Spitalfields outside of London?
Yes, sir.
Ah, bless you, sir.
Bless you, sir.
And bless you, sir.
Bless you, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, not you, sir. These gentlemen over here.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do either of you lads know how to get to Giggleswick and Staincliffe?
Do you speak of the Giggleswick in Clanchwarton, next to Kingsley, Norfolk?
No, I believe it's the Giggleswick in North Yorkshire near Leeds.
That's the one, sir.
Ah, yes.
I've never been there, sir. I've only been as far north as Wath upon Dee.
Yeah, we only heard great stories of the great Giggleswick.
Ah, I know how to get there, sir. I've been as far north as Great Toss in Northumberland.
You've been as far as Great Tossin in Northumberland?
Indeed I have, sir.
I have a grandfather in Northumberland, Sir Aldith Wigmond.
Aldith Wigmond of Tillington Mount, Northumberland?
No, sir. Aldith Wigmond of Great Toss in Northumberland.
Ah, perhaps there are two Aldith Wigmonds in Northumberland.
Perhaps. It's a very common name.
Nonetheless, just head northeast till you get to Derby, and then take the House Up Trail through Rowland, and then hang a right towards Stony Middleton. 2 days walk from there, and you should arrive, sir.
Ah, bless you, sir.
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 And bless you, sir.
Bless you, sir.
Right.
Excuse me, sir.
We are all blessed.
Would you like some company?
Oh!
He startled me!
Yes, he was very quiet, sir.
I didn't even see him move, sir.
Quite the snake, sir.
Oh.
Well, good day, sir.
Good day, sir.
Good day, sir.
Good day to you, sir.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the break. We're going to jump right into this and finish because we have a lot of other gifts to talk about and ideas and homemade things. And so I think where we left off was we were talking about, we started off with books and then we were like, oh, recipes,
Dice.
drinks.
Talked a lot about dice.
We talked a lot about dice. And then when it came to drinks, I know that we kind of were touching on the topic of like drinkware even.
Which
And-
remember on this show, we have clarified that a drink is technically a table snack.
That's
according
right.
to
According to Luke.
Right.
Whiskey
That
is a
considered
snack.
Whiskey is a snack,
Yes.
and
Nice.
it's a free action to cry.
Right.
Yes, and it is a free action to cry. Yes.
So I don't know if you guys have seen, there's plenty of really cool like D&D inspired glassware, drinkware. This is one that I got recently. It just looks like there's a D20
Oh,
pressed
nice.
into
No,
it.
I like that.
Yeah. So that one's really fun.
Wow.
It always, in my brain, it kind of messes with my type A personality because I just want to pull it out and fix the glass, but I can't.
Is that dishwasher safe?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Yes.
All right. I like it. I like it even better. I like it even better.
However, some people at my table like to have some kind of a drink holder that aligns with who their character is, right? So my husband always plays some kind of a big character, like a Goliath or some kind of a big beefy, you know, and he wants a manly drink. So he has something like this, right? Or you know, you could get like the Viking horn or the big German steins and things like that. So he likes having something like this. So you could always get something for your players or your friends.
I like that. Get everybody a player character type drinking apparatus.
Right.
I love it.
Which is why, you know, you mentioned like, I have this, someone always got me this, because, you know, being a DM and I love my dice. Also, I mentioned this in one of my own personal posts. I can't remember if I brought it up in one of these, but my husband knows my next D&D character. I want her to be kind of like a tea leaf reader, gypsy kind of a.
We have talked about
We've
this.
talked about
we have
this.
been talking about this.
And
yeah.
so for our anniversary this year, he got me this really cool teacup set because 18th anniversary is porcelain. So that was very smart of him. But also he knows that, and we love to look at the stars. So this has like constellations in it. We're stargazers. He said, well, and
nice.
you're also going to be
I like
a tea
that
leaf
print.
reader, right? So I can bring this to my game, drink some tea during the game, and then once I have my tea leaves to read, I have a little kind of prop to get into character. That was really thoughtful of him. I love that.
Very nice. Very nice. Wait, is there going to be a character that is going to read leaves for the players?
Yes, that's me. I'm going to be the one. I'm going to play kind of this like gypsy, fortune teller, tea reader kind of I
love it.
And then one
Very
last
nice.
one. If you want to get really customized, right? If you know your players or your friends really well, I can provide the link if we need it for this show. But there's a place I go to where you can customize your glassware. It was really affordable. I want to say it was maybe like no more than $15 per glass per person, including the customization. So I basically made a glass for each character with their character's name, and then I created kind of a little like catchphrase or something that dealt with their character. For example, one of the players, he's a wizard, and he always casts fireball. Like that is his answer to everything, is fireball. So I think on his it was something like his name's Sparky, that's what we call him, and something like, you know, the solution is always fire. That's what I did. So for mine, because I created one for myself, so we all match. But my character's name is Mariel, and she's an elf. She's the chain fighter that I've talked about, the chain fighter barbarian. She's crazy. And she also sees her dead loved ones in people, like her fiance. So she's an elf seeking a male. Crazy. Right. And that's her name. So everybody has a glass similar to this. Awesome. Oh, yeah.
What's on the back?
On the back, it says, must love chains and old people. Because she's very much like, if you're old, then she will, everything you say is like truth, and it's the Bible, because you're old and we respect our elders. And so she's very much like old people rock and chains.
I like it.
So you can do something
I'm
like
an
that
old
for your
person.
players, right?
I like it.
Cool. I do recall one other thing. I've been thinking about this throughout the whole show. There's got to be times that I've given people stuff, and I guess I recall I have given my wife a few D&D gifts too. Actually,
oh, fun!
A little mini set of pearl-colored white dice.
Nice.
Got stained pink later, but that's okay. I gave her a coloring in book, a D&D coloring in book, which she's been going through over the last 4 or 5 years.
Those are fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're great.
Right. And there's recently been some books come out from Wizards of the Coast that are aimed at new players. How to play spellcasters is one of them, which is basically just it's a hardcover book about yay big. And it has how to use a bunch of cantrips and spells in it, and brief descriptions of some magic items and classes and how the magic system works, and it kind of simplified for new players. So that was kind of fun and cool too.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Very neat. Very neat. Now, I just thought of an interesting hack gift while you guys are talking. Hear me out on this one. How about a Shutterfly book or a Snapfish book where you take pictures of your crew, put it together for everybody? And here's the cool thing about that too for me is I can't have a physical copy, but I can have an electronic copy.
You can have the digital, yeah.
And you can even share that with everybody for nothing, if you put that together on Shutterfly.
That's actually a really good idea, because it's kind of like having a yearbook. It's a yearbook for your campaign, which honestly, I wish I'd thought about that before, because we have this funny ongoing joke. It was probably 2 sessions in to this. I don't know how many years we've been playing this campaign now, 6, 7 years. The second session in, we almost had a TPK. It was because of this one player. He just basically had heard, oh, there's going to be an ambush in this inn, when he tried to get us to leave and we didn't want to leave. He didn't tell us why. He just said, we need to leave the inn, and we didn't listen to him. And instead of helping us like see the light, he left the inn by himself. And instead of there being a TPK, he died. He was the one that got killed. And so we laugh every year that the date comes up with, there's a picture that we took of that session. And then the very next session, without talking to anyone, somehow we all thought to buy, that we had gone to a Bevmo and found beers that all had like names in it that dealt with death. And even without planning it, we all brought beer that night that had to deal with death. And so we had him take a picture with it. And so every year on his death anniversary, we call it, we're always sharing the picture going, ha ha, you died.
And that would be a great Shutterfly album, And I think about now too, how much you can do with technology, because you could put actual images and art in it and put a whole book together. And then again, being a minimalist, putting it on the shelf with all your other D&D books would be really kind of a cool thing.
What I don't have on today is my T-shirt that was given to me by Avery, which I think I was wearing last week. I might have shown you before. It has, if the DM is smiling, it's
already too late. Yep.
So Russell broke open the door, T-shirts. All right, I got my Mothman.
Nice.
All right. Now, of course, any urban legend, DMs love classic tees. 5 Below in the States has got a ton of them. And 5 Below actually got licensed some good artwork that I want to share with you guys. One, of course, is the shirt I've worn before.
Yeah, I like that one.
Flare.
That's one of my favorites.
And the other one I don't have is the Beholder.
Right.
And then there's a third image, which I believe is a Lich. I think I'm not sure. And then the other one they licensed, which is a really kind of cool shirt. They took the old prints from, and then they kind of just compiled them together. It's a little cheesy with the endless quest, but you got some dice, some graph paper. You got the Wrath and the Lich, and it's a cool T-shirt.
That is really
Five
cool.
Below. And I believe they also have those same designs, like they're on t-shirts, they're on posters, they're on mugs. You just don't know what shipment is coming to what Five Below or what store at what time. So those images are appearing a lot of places as gifts this holiday season around. So keep an eye out for them. And my last t-shirt, you can always go to the classic, find your DM, the classic tie-dye with the dragon, They love that stuff.
Hell yeah.
Shoot, you guys made me, you
Right.
reminded me of something and I didn't think to pull it and I don't know where it is. So I don't want to go off camera going to find it. But
Okay.
I think I've talked about it on a prior episode. One of the guys in our group is kind of a little bit of an artist and he just does little, on napkins, does little doodles while we're playing our game. And he had come up with a logo for our group that he had just put on a napkin. And at the end of the session, I asked him, I was like, hey, are you going to do anything with that? And he's like, no, why, you want it? I'm like, yeah, give it to me. Because everybody at the table loved this logo that he drew up. So I saved it and I held on to it until about Christmas time. And you can take this and you can find, I'm sure you can find them on Fiverr. I didn't look on Fiverr. I found on Etsy someone who can take my little paper napkin picture and they drew it up into a logo. And then I took that logo, the digital file, and I went to another Etsy person. I said, hey, I need this on t-shirts. So can you put it on t-shirts? And I kind of did some secret behind the work and found out what everybody's size was. And we all have matching t-shirts with our logo. So we're like, and
Very nice.
I mean, it looks like branded material, like, that you would buy anywhere, but it's just for us. No one else has it.
Now, the other thing I've been considering like that is enamel pins.
Yeah.
Take your design and make the small enamel pin, and then you can have a pin for each campaign. I thought would be really nice, a nice touch too.
Yeah. I've also, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to go off on another tangent, so you finish.
Okay. Well, just, talking about clothing, sorry.
Kids. Apparel.
aside from the t-shirt, right? Because I'm so crafty and I crochet, I made beanies for everybody one year. But then from Etsy, I took that same logo and I ordered, I don't have it with me again because I didn't pull it. You can buy these tiny little leather, like they look like tags, that like brand tags, right? And so it has the logo etched onto the leather tag, and then I put the leather tag on the beanies, so we have like branded beanies as well for our group. So Etsy is an amazing place if you want stuff like that. You just gotta search and you get ideas.
I'm currently throwing together some ideas for merchandise at the moment too, for things like stuff like shirts and cups and things.
Yeah, those labels you can put on anything. Like you can put them, some shirts have them on the edge of their sleeve and stuff like that. So you could do that. I like
that stuff has become so much more accessible in the last 10 years for people to be able to do whatever they want to do, customizable. It's great. It's great. It's so awesome.
So let's see. What else have we not covered? Oh, did you have something?
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to hear where Russell was going. He said he's going to go on a tangent. Let's see where he goes.
Well, first of all, I did find the things we were talking about earlier.
That's I wanted to see these. Cool.
This one's could be Arvad's tentacles, for example.
Oh, okay. And that's like the actual diameter of the spell.
Yeah, and it's got the right. Yeah, that's right. It's got the right diameter and radius and so on. It's just paper. It's quite high. Actually, it's card, so you could just slide it under your minis, so to speak.
Yeah, drop it right on top of your map there. That's awesome.
It gave me a bunch of different versions. Now you'll notice that this one has the center is a cross, whereas this version of the same one, the center is a square.
Is a square, so you can have it positioned differently too.
Right.
Cool.
So
that's smart.
So there's a bunch of different designs. That one's probably darkness. I think this is
that is a very cool gift if you have somebody that's playing with terrain with flat maps and minis.
Right. Yeah.
It's really great
designs. There's a one that looks like that. It's quite funky.
Those are really cool. See, I have something very similar that I got from Amazon, but I love that those are like very unique and almost like customizable to whatever you need. because I have
Right.
like very similar. It's a ring, but it actually tells you on this one like this is fog cloud, so at least I
Right.
know like this is supposed to go to fog
Oh
cloud,
wow!
right?
Look at that. Yeah, that's
I like the way
great.
that goes around the minis,
Right.
actually, because my one, you've got to lift everything up and slide it under.
Gosh.
Right. Yeah. So this is like fireball and but the other one, like I just used it the other day. There was like
Gosh,
wall
legalize recreational math. Will you? Come on.
wall
Legalize recreational math. I
like
love this. This is great.
this is not wall, this is lightning bolt, but there's one similar for like wall of fire. So I can just lay it down and now I have a wall of fire. So yeah, I totally get it. But I kind of like what you have because it just feels so personal, right? Like these are everyone's gonna have something like this. This is a cone, so you know where the cone
Right.
of the magic.
I
is
like
hitting.
the fact that your ones are clear though. That's quite handy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You're giving me all kinds of ideas. And if you're at home there, you could be making some of these things too. If you have your own custom ideas
printers
for stuff. Yeah. I mean, gosh, this is great stuff you guys are sharing with everybody. I feel like I'm out of stuff.
Here we go.
While I'm out of stuff, something that's really unique I wanted to share with everybody. Again, going back to my minimalist. I also can't have paper. We've talked about this before, but I went to an in-person game and everybody's playing paper and I didn't want to be left out.
Mm-hmm.
So I made paper copies, but I'm able, we have these sheets we use in education classes and it's laminated on both sides, basically.
Right.
And you just put the sheets in there. And the really nice thing, I brought this and I'm using it. Everybody's like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, I don't use a pencil. I use an erasing marker.
Yeah.
Dry erase on this. And everyone was like, oh, where'd you get that? I want one of these. So hit a teacher supply store, man. You will see some of the coolest stuff you had never thought you could use for a game ever before.
Right.
I use a similar thing. These are all just character sheets that are laminated as well. They're not in fancy packets, but they are basically the same. You can just write on them with a dry erase or something, or wet erase, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, really.
So something else.
Yeah.
And
a neat little gift.
On that note, like if you have any kind of design skills or, you can purchase like very customized character sheets, like for your druid, it could have like, it's all green and there's leaves and flowers and it looks really pretty. But if it's a necromancer, it's all black and scary looking. Like you can really customize your character sheets. But if you have any design skills, you can make them yourself. And then they have just a little bit more of a personal touch. I love
Put
that.
some of your game world in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing I think about is book covers.
Right.
The one thing I did not get to keep, again, with my book collection were my book covers. And at one point, I remember my players, it's funny, I hadn't thought of this before, bought me just plastic vinyl book covers to put on my books to keep their covers nice. Right. And those covers had one had like a Cthulhu print on it. Another had another fantasy image on it, Conan or whatever. Yeah. Those are nice little gifts too for people, keep their books fresh.
Posters.
Posters. I didn't think of that.
And okay, so again, this is probably more helpful for people who play in person, right? But one of my friends, he works for one of those like printing places where you can print posters and, FedEx, Kinko's, that kind of a place. So if you go onto Patreon or wherever you find your battle maps, all I had to do was ask him like, hey, I found this really cool battle map I like. Can you print it out for me? And he will do that. And so I have a bunch of these, like they're just vinyl. So they're totally reusable maps.
That's great.
And then I roll them up and I have just a little like a box where I just kind of like put them upright. And then I have a bunch of vinyl maps. So you can, if you find a really cool battle map, then you can just go to a really cool printer and have them print it on vinyl for you so that they have it kind of permanently.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea.
What
Gosh,
else?
you could do those on all types of materials then from a printing place too, if you really wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, you could have it on like a cardboard, cardstock kind of a thing.
You could have it on laminate.
Yeah.
Now you have me thinking about, you could like have layers and make a dungeon stack and then build it. Anyway.
Yeah.
One of my players, speaking of printing stuff, bought this on DM's Guild, this book, the PDF, and then printed it out.
Right.
Full and gave it to me in a, this thing's
Binder.
probably worth more than the paper it's printed on, but the book itself is really handy, the Ancestral Weapons Guide. So you can too. It's fairly cheap.
I actually did that. I mentioned, I'm going to be using our Dark Escape as kind of a test on a test run on my players. So since I have the PDF, I went ahead and had it printed, because not that I could have printed it at home. I have a printer, but I just kind of wanted it to be all like encapsulated and bound, like a spiral bound.
You could have printed it in 3D.
Right. I could have. But it's nice because now I have like a clear cover and a back, so it feels like a thing. It's not just something printed on paper that's stapled. It has a little, it's been elevated a bit. So
gravitas.
So if you guys have PDFs of adventures, you could easily do that for your DM, and just the cost of printing alone, and that's it. Like, done.
DM screens.
DM screens. Now that you bring us to that, do you have one to show? Because I have one.
I only have my normal one, which is, to be fair, I bought this myself, so it's not, a gift.
Right.
But I have the pretty plastic. Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
This old one.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's got all the things inside it, all the conditions and all that stuff. So it's all fancy stuff. But that would be really handy for a DM if you're a player and you want to buy somebody a DM something, a DM screen, some dice,
give them the
and I
basics.
found too, it doesn't even have to be like the one that Russell's showing. Even if you find the little one,
make one.
I know DMs that like to have the front screen and then the side screen and the side screen. So DMs love screens and charts. So don't
to be fair, I run my games mostly with a laptop. I put the screen up at the beginning of the game so all the players know where the D&D is, because often they're strangers and they don't know D&D. So I put the screen up, and then when they sit down, I take the screen down because I hardly ever use it, and I'm running it off a laptop. And the screen is usually kind of just gets in the way of role playing anyway. So I prefer to play without a screen if I can. But
that's interesting.
Sometimes it's necessary, especially with kids.
Yeah.
They will just stare at your laptop like this,
What you got there? So I'm going to grab this.
How many hit points does the monster have?
Okay. So I know I've
Emma's
showed you.
got a screen for us. Yeah, let's see it.
My husband, who does all the woodworking for a hobby, basically made me my own DM screen. But what I love about it is it's very customizable. So on the inside, I'm going to try to show this off to you without cutting my mic off. I think I might have shown this on a previous episode as well.
Yeah.
So here's the front of it. Okay.
Wow.
It's got a little lock thingy if I wanted it, but right. And then
it's Matthew Mercer's screen, doesn't it?
And then if I open it, there we go. I can print out whatever pages I want for reference. I don't have to have the pre-made, whatever reference materials are on there. And then because there's a magnetic strip, let me see if I can show this.
I could totally.
There we go.
Yeah, you can see it. I mean, we can just tell there's a magnetic strip already the way they're floating there. Yeah,
right.
It's great.
So then this is my initiative tracker, because I just created these for my characters, so I can move them around wherever I need them to be.
And they're printed on both sides.
These are printed on both sides.
So players see the image on the other side. It's awesome. Great.
So, and then the back side, which isn't as pretty because I haven't finished it. He wanted to do a wood burning design, and we never figured out what we're going to do. So for now, I just have these little 3M hooks, and then I stick the iPad in there with a little picture of some landscape so that they remember oh, we're in snowy mountains. And
that's great.
No, that's a great use. That's a great use.
Yeah.
One of my players had a little USB flat screen monitor that they brought to one of our games, and it just hooks on the back of the laptop. So I have a second screen that I can show them videos, maps, and pictures of monsters and whatever. It's really handy on that player-facing screen.
Yes.
Yeah,
I agree. Mine is just a really old. It's the first gen iPad. So I need to do something. I like that idea where it's something that's connected to the laptop, so I don't even have to worry about it. I can just change
you
the
can
picture.
Drag and drop stuff on it or change the picture.
Yeah, that's great.
Or playing with a plasma screen next to you is quite useful too.
Yeah.
Plug into that. Anyway,
okay, so
I was wondering about that. And I don't know, Russell, have you ever played on one of those tables where there's a TV screen on the table?
I've not actually played on it. I have seen one in use.
Okay.
I know people that do that, but I've not done it myself.
Do you know if there's anything they put on the bottom of minis
right
when they play? I was thinking that would make a unique gift for that kind of a DM. You know, like does he need like felt bottoms?
Right.
Go out and get your DM some
That's a good
felt
idea.
bottoms
That's a
for the
good idea.
electronic table.
That is a good idea. I've never seen it done, but I'm sure that is a great idea.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I keep thinking about that when I see these tables. Like people have to put something under those minis so they're not, destroying those surfaces.
No idea. I don't think.
I don't know.
I think.
Hey, if you're out there, put it in the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know, because I'll come on the show. Talk to us about your table. Tell us about your stuff.
So on that note, if we're talking about like maps and terrain and stuff, we've talked about these before, but the little D&D tiles, this is just a box. And so, you can get the different tiles, forest, city, whatever. And then you can kind of make the map on the fly, and they're double-sided, so here's a city area with a well, but on the other side, it's like part of a tavern or an inside of a house. So you can just kind of mix and match as you go. And then what I love about the boxes is
that's great.
The box is also a building if you think about it. So I have, kind of it's a vertical and horizontal. People have to think about, where they're going to be.
You can use it as a vertical platform for gameplay. It's great. That's great. Now I was looking at one in Barnes and Noble, which is actually a spiral notebook, and it would open up. And then they're different, like there's a winter, and then there's an autumn, and then there's a beach, and then there was an ocean page.
Yeah.
And then there was actually two sizes. There was like a smaller version and a larger version. Great stuff out there. I mean,
those map books are really cool.
Yeah.
So you could also get your DM a subscription to Baldur's Gate.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Is that a subscription thing? I didn't know that.
Actually, I don't know. I assume it was a subscription thing, but I could be entirely wrong.
Now, here's another one. You guys were talking about self-serving. If you're playing a campaign with your DM, I think of Tomb of Annihilation. There's something like 30 or 40 maps that are not included that are on Drive-Through RPG. Right. Get something like that.
There you go.
For your whole campaign to use. And then there's another little quickie that just hit my head. Bang.
Yeah.
Another good idea. Tons of maps.
One of the things I guess I do for players from time to time, which I don't really consider a gift, it's more of just a favor, but I like to make their characters AI art profiles and pictures and things too. I mean, they don't have to necessarily use them if they don't want to, but having them gives them an idea of what their characters look like, and they can customize those. We can turn them into tokens for D&D Beyond or Roll20, stuff like that. So yeah.
It's funny you say that, because I make logos for all my campaigns. Every adventure I make I call it a pulp, but it's an image. And then last year for Christmas, I put them all together and made a video with some dramatic music for everybody, sort of as a gift.
Right.
It's like, oh, here's a video of our whole year of playing D&D this year, because all I had was electronic, media recording of it. So, you have. Can I jump the rails here? You guys have something really cool on this list.
Yeah.
You talk about unique experiences.
Yes.
And that's something as a minimalist we talk about in our family all the time, is having experiences instead of physical gifts.
Right.
I really like to dig into this. Getting somebody tickets to a D&D convention or event or a local sci-fi convention is such a great idea you have on this list, Amber. I had never thought, what a great idea.
There's so many things too. I mean, there's D&D pop-up bars, there's D&D, even just Ren fairs. If there happens to be a Ren fair, get everybody tickets to the Ren fair,
Yeah, absolutely.
When the D&D movie came out, large groups of D&D players went to see it. I mean, Questbook, all of the DMs at Questbook went together to see it.
There's excellent ideas. I mean,
there's escape
rooms.
Russell,
that's another good one. Go to escape room and just see what it's like to be on that end.
And
you could go to the Dice and Fork restaurant if you live in Auckland, and you can play D&D tonight.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
3,000. flight across the Pacific Ocean, but that's okay.
The one that I wanted to talk about, because we have a player in our group who he loves to do improv classes as just kind of a hobby. He just loves it. It has nothing to do with his day job or anything. He just really enjoys it. And
Right.
with the, with COVID, a lot of that stuff became very easily accessible online. You can take an online improv class very easily and very affordably. And
Right.
so that, I think, again, like he's actually walked us through a few improv exercises just to kind of show us what it's like, and that helps with your role play because you can kind of think on your feet a little bit better. And so that would be a really fun thing to do as a group, I think, is an improv class. So I wanted to put that on there.
I'm gonna say a DM might, give a DM might love that. Like, oh wow, that'd be kind of cool just to do that. But then a DM might be like, why are you giving this to me?
What are you saying? What are you
saying? What are you saying? I need some help. But no, I would appreciate something like that. That's a great idea either way.
Yeah, it's
not
a lot
even
of fun.
player wise, as a DM, that would be kind of cool to do too. Very neat, very neat experiences.
Yes.
What a great idea. And now you have me even thinking just to go to a museum and tap ideas at a museum and come home and say, oh, I'm going to use this artifact I saw in a museum to think. And I always put that out there, folks. Make sure you brought that map home because they make great D&D maps.
Right.
Yeah.
Brochures, those free brochures of museums and concert halls and things like that.
So I was thinking about what other ways do I not necessarily reward players, but gift things or do things for players that are not necessarily gifts that you can hand them. But for example, I guess this might be one of them. I'm just going to pop this in the Zoom chat so that you guys can see this.
Okay.
But it's a link to a web page, a blog page actually, and the blog is a player spotlight, where I talk about one player in particular. And I did this on various days over a couple of weeks with different players to sort of highlight each player as we went along. I made a little picture and threw that all together and then, talked about how wonderful they were and how lucky I was to have them, basically.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, I mean, it's not a gift, so to speak, but it's a gesture, I suppose.
No, I was gonna say accolades are a gift. Now I have to ask this. Did you ask permission from your players? You already have broadcast permission for them.
Right. Yeah. I did
make sure you check. Just make sure you check with your players before you share them on social media or something. If I know Russell has releases for all his crew because they all do broadcast games on Twitch.
And the players, these particular players were all from the Vaingate Chronicles too, so they were into it. Got them a lot of attention, and they got some free PR out of it, which was a gift in a way,
Yeah.
No, that's great. I think that's
cool.
great, Russell. It's
Anyway.
a great thing to share.
No worries.
It's a great example, an excellent example of a gift.
So I wanted to go
Without
back
a
to real quick, if we were talking about unique experiences and Ren fairs, there's a lot of, cosplayers and people who want to dress as their characters when you go to a Ren fair. So, and that stuff is not cheap. Have you ever purchased a Ren fair costume? It is super expensive. I think so. Just even helping out with little accessories that help someone to dress as their character for these events could go a long way. So I've shown this, I think, when we were doing one of our episodes where, my character's a barbarian. And so I have these like rabbit fur kind of things that I wear as like a little capelet. And then this I got off of Etsy, which is just a little brooch that looks like a turtle shell because my character is very attached to the turtle in the group. So I thought that was really, fun to put together. And you could get little accessories like to put in your hair. I've worn this before too, because this is very, tribal kind of for my character. But the thing that I love that I still have yet to wear, because I haven't been to a Ren fair since I bought it, is you can buy these really cool elf ears.
Oh,
that are kind
wow.
of jewelry.
Yeah, I have seen these. Yeah, I have seen
so
those.
you just kind of, plop that onto your ear. Oh, you can't really see it with all my hair. I have a lot of hair. But, you have these kind of cool little elf ears.
Nice.
Very
So
cool.
yeah, you can get
Like-
all kinds of cool stuff.
Like elf
for your
paper
character.
clips for your ears.
Yes. And like I've seen people have with the tiefling horns,
Right.
all kinds of stuff that you can get to help your friends dress as their character.
Right. Yeah. And having one or two little things like that really does help you with your role playing sometimes too, having an object or a piece of costume. It doesn't have to be the whole kit and caboodle, but sometimes just holding it, a single object can be enough to just put you in that character in that moment.
Right.
Very true. Very, very true.
I like having props for that reason. It keeps me in character and I remember like I'm this person right now. What else did I want to show off? Okay, because I feel like we've you were talking about like personalized character sheets and things like that. You've done artwork for them. I've seen a lot of people get like journals that you can use for note taking at the table and get something that feels a little like that person's character. Whether it's a color, whether it's the material, whether it's the picture on it. My son loves these things.
And actually, again, I go back to my last Barnes and Noble shopping for this episode. I was looking around. They have quite a few different companies are making different types of materials for Dungeons and Dragons now. They have a mini box. Obviously, I didn't buy it, but it's filled with 8 notebooks. And they're blank paged, and then they're covered with classic D&D art. So it's sort of a little box with 8 little notebooks. So that's something someone could put together as a campaign.
Yeah.
Then they also have some soft cover books that are just kind of stapled loose leaf paper. And then they say DM journal. And then I believe one side is lined and then the other side is graph. So you have this line and graph sort of just notebook.
That's really cool because like if they want to
yeah.
kind of map out like we're in a dungeon and we have to map out like where we've been, the graph paper is really helpful.
Right there, one side and then the other side. And then I've also noticed that they have them big enough now for minis. So you have
cool.
You can open up and you can just start magic markering on these books now to do your mini page and then turn the page and have another fresh page to do your next map.
Yeah.
So it's really, really neat stuff out there that people are making. Generic, it's not, Wizards of the Coast stuff, but these bookstores are starting to stock this stuff that they know goes along with us playing the game and how we journal for our games. I love the idea of like picking a theme for the character. Yours is like the dragon and pick a different theme journal for the different characters at your table is such a great idea. Wow.
Yeah. And it also encourages note taking, right? Now there's no reason if they
right.
have
There's
something
no reason to
in front of them.
Right.
And then going back to like props and stuff for the character, I told you my next character is going to be this, fortune teller, tea leaf reader. So I actually, this isn't the gift, I bought it for myself, but tarot cards, they're kind of really big right now with D&D, I think because of Critical Role and just the jester character. But tarot cards are so much fun, and I've been just having fun just learning a little bit about it so that again I can get myself into character. I can have this at the table and it just
let's talk. Yeah, the Taroka deck in the Ravenloft, right? So that was the Curse of Strahd opened with that. So that was really big for them to kind of rebrand it and sell it. And then they just released their deck of many kinds. So cards are really playing well, and they sort of had a big flub with that. I guess their printed cards are still not out on the market.
And to be fair, I mean, all of the spell cards, monster cards, magic item cards, martial power cards, and so on, they're all very useful for the right players. I don't use them much because I use a computer, but if you're sitting there as a player, they're much more handy if you're a player because you turn up with
great gifts
character, so much simpler.
It is. I'm that. For me, I'm that kind of player where, I can have it on a computer. That's great. But when I have too many tabs open, I'm constantly trying to shuffle. Whereas if I have a physical item and like with cards, I've seen people put them in binders in those little like card holders. So it's easier to see everything all at once. Like that's how I would play. So yeah, I think it definitely takes the right player who wants to use those things.
Right.
But yeah,
another great idea. Another great idea, Russell.
And as discussed, I think last week, making cards for people too is also a thing. You can do that as a gift if you don't want to go out and buy them. Let's face it, you can just get some cardboard or what do you call them? The little
index cards.
Index cards, yeah.
Thank you. Index cards. Right. Buy a packet of index cards and a pen. That's what you need.
Yeah. Yeah, we did talk about that in that last episode where, one of my players did that so that every time she casts a spell, there's a card she can hand out, and it makes it so easy for everyone at the table.
Similarly for terrain, you can get a piece of paper, and I'm just going to zoom in here and
there you go.
Yeah, in the background. Yeah, that's a good
get
zoom.
some crayons and do that. It's doable.
There you go.
They're just terrible maps, but you can use them. They work.
Yeah.
Similarly for the actual physical terrain, you can cut out walls and so on, all that jazz. Anyway, enough of seeing my room and zoom.
But while we're talking about cards and tarot cards, we've talked about using story stones or even using plot cards.
Yes. I have something like that.
That's another great idea. Okay, there you go. Story dice or plot cards, also a really good gift to think about.
Yeah.
I know I love them. They're great. They're great, especially when you're putting something together.
And you'll find that a lot of players, I think, anybody that's into D&D, they're obviously into fantasy. And quite often that comes with a number of other closely related interests like science fiction, history, so on and so forth. So books that are surrounding or anything really, but especially books that have those concepts encapsulated one way or another, whether it's anything from philosophy to history or whatever, that's all going to feed back into their role playing, because it's the people like us eat that stuff up.
Yeah.
I think.
And just to go back to, with Doc being a minimalist, I am the kind of person where I love reading. I love books. I have very little time to actually sit and read. So if you do have players or DM who loves to read, audiobooks, get Audible credits or a membership for them, because I can blow through books if I can listen to them while I'm doing stuff,
Get everybody a library card.
Yeah. That's free.
It's
I
free.
think they actually have to be there to sign up for it, but
I don't know. Or maybe
I have a library card for in California, funnily enough. So there's that. I do for Los Angeles, West Coast. Yeah.
That's great. I love it.
So
every day
when it comes to no, I was gonna see if I could tie this to reading, but I can't. I'm sorry. Concentration checks. There we go. I failed my concentration check. I am so bad when it comes to concentration checks. When I'm the DM and the baddies are doing damage to them, I always forget to make them do a concentration check. So
they have to remember themselves.
Then they do too, but they're also, for this group, they're mostly newer players, so it's a little overwhelming sometimes. So with my 3D printer, I printed little concentration markers, so you can just slide it over to yes, slide it over to no, and everyone who's a magic caster has one. And these aren't painted, obviously, but you can paint them.
I was gonna say, whose gift is that?
Yeah, no, that's I don't know. I'm just saying it's really for me, actually. but
they could use it on your NPCs, I suppose.
And this is just one design. I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff you could make or buy that helps people to remember when they're concentrating or not. But it's really helpful for me.
All right, now I have to. I gotta stop Amber, because Amber has something on the list that I cannot be near, so I want her to address this. You have table props and decor. Talk to us about table props and decor as gifts. What would you get for gifts for table props and decor for the game? Tell us.
Here's the thing. As a DM and as the DM who likes to have all the ambiance and stuff, it gets expensive. It racks up, right? DMs would love to. I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't speak for all DMs, but as a DM, I would love.
No, that's why I'm asking you this question, because I play online and we use virtual backgrounds. Go ahead, talk to us.
I would prefer to be able to give my players the foggy graveyard and I need fog, right? But fog machines that are meant for D&D tables they're not easy or cheap. Let's just say that. There are some other options, and I've talked about this and I finally found it so that I could show it. This is a very cheap, easy option. I know it looks dirty. It's not. But it is a personal
I've seen those before. Yeah.
magic wand humidifier. That's all this is. Okay. And so you just take, you know what? I'm not going to pull this out and assemble it.
Yeah,
you have to assemble
this
it.
is not an unboxing. This
but
is not
basically,
an unboxing video.
you just fill this little thing with water, and then
it steams out the top.
And it steams out the top. And so if you can put it on your map somewhere strategically, so you don't see this clunky looking thing, you can hide it under some other terrain or something, then you can have fog on your table. And this is super affordable. So I wanted to show that because, you could get that for your DM and they would just love it to have some kind of a fog effect.
Right.
Okay. Now she has on the list, she has candles. And I'm going to tell you something, that candles are a great idea, not even burning, but you think about what style candles to have out on a table for like a Curse of Strahd with a candelabra, or if you were doing something like Sylvan Woods, you might have a different kind of candle set up with like the floating candles with the leaves in the water or something.
Yes.
Like I love those ideas.
That's taking it from a different direction than where I was going to go with candles, but I love that.
So that's kind of a neat little thing there, I think like centerpieces, like at a wedding.
So for me,
your game.
For me, the candles, it's a scent thing. Like if we're in the forest, I want the house to smell like green pine and stuff. So one of my players actually gifted me with these cute little mini candles, right? But they all have, this is Stone Moss Chapel, right? Very vague, but just enough to give you a feel. This one is the Library Scriptorium. This one is Gold Wheat Bakery, so and they don't look like anything, but just the scent alone. So on certain days,
smell-o-vision.
Yeah, it's just
just
extra...
make sure you have all your players' permission to have sense in the room.
This is true.
I would be done.
No, you're right.
Out.
I have to be careful because I do have one player who is very sensitive to scents, and so I usually will burn my candles before everyone shows up. And once people show up, I put everything out because then it gets.
They should just play in a gas mask. Just put them in a gas mask.
Well, don't joke, Russell. Don't joke like that.
I know. I'm being facetious, Doc. I'm sorry.
But even though I don't have, this one's not scented, it's just fun. That's my Matt Mercer Jesus there. Someone got that for me and I love it. So
Matt Mercer Jesus. Oh my God.
So candles, a lot of fun. But going back to like table decor and things like that, lighting, that's another thing, like dynamic lighting. You can get these LED candles that are about this size, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we've shown them before on the show. Yeah, we've talked about that. No, that's a great idea.
I have a little remote. And so I can just put them around and like, now everything looks red. Now everything looks blue. I have another light that kind of has like a wave effect to it. So if I point it down and it's blue, now the map looks like an ocean because it's kind of got this blue wavy movement, Nice. So any kind of lighting immersion that you can help your DM with, like they're going to be so happy to be able to provide that for you. At least I am.
And sometimes players will bring things that they own to the game, not to necessarily give you, but to lend for your session, have a dragon or something.
And it's funny, you're talking about, you had smell and now and sight. And now I'm talking about sound. You can really find some Bluetooth wireless speakers out there really cheap if you want to gift your DM something real easy. And he doesn't even need it for his game. He can like keep it at home and have an extra Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
But while we're talking about our senses, that's a nice little gift too there.
Yeah, you're right.
And go along with the immersion that Amber's talking about to your game.
And the D&D muffins for taste.
Yes. or the whiskey.
Or the whiskey, because that is also
or the whiskey. It is also a snack. Yes, it is also a snack.
Perfect.
All right, I like it. I like it. Table props and decor. So that's some great stuff. And
I
then of
feel
course,
like-
keep your eyes out right now because there's leftover Halloween stuff
Yeah.
still on the back shelves in like the drugstores and stuff. That's like really cheap now. You can get a skull that talks or
That's
all
where I
kinds of
got my
crazy
tarot
stuff.
cards. This is from Spirit
See?
Halloween. So,
So
yeah.
so it's a
Real
really good
tarot
time.
cards and
They're not
multiple
really.
sets of them.
Yeah.
Here's the
But-
soft.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
here's another thing. I mean, speaking of decor, however you want to say it. I scored this tablecloth, which has got some very nice patterns on it. It's very shiny, and that just goes on there, and it's got a medieval pattern, and you can put it on your D&D.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
That is a great idea, actually.
You know, so
it
many
made me-
DMs like to have their D&D room, you know, so any decor on the walls, like I've seen, was it Joe Manganiello has like the dragon head mounted on the wall, you know, like any kind of decor so that you feel like you have a dungeon to play in.
Right. I mean, to be fair, incense and lights, you can do anything. You don't need to have all of that jazz. I mean, maybe not incense for you, Doc, but everybody else, and
Yeah.
some lights.
No, I don't get me wrong. I love a fully immersive experience. I mean, I think that's a great idea, and it's just something I physically can't do, but it's great. And
You can do music. You can do music and lights.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's totally a place for it though. When Amber's talking about it for the game.
Yeah.
And accelerating your game to beyond.
Right. Sirenscape subscription, Spotify
Sirenscape,
subscription. You know, these things are quite useful for DMs.
Now we talked about you were talking about art. You have your art back there, and you said that, you know, one of your players kind of will draw things based off of what happened in the session. But you can actually, and this is, I think, probably the number one thing I've seen a lot of people do is pay for an artist to now do commissions for the party, for individual characters, for a particular scene that really stuck with them. So you can find all that on Fiverr, on Etsy, on, you know,
even Facebook has there's
Patreon.
tons of groups with artists looking for commission work. If
Right.
you can't find one, contact us because we'll find you one.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
We should start a business hooking up players with artists.
We should.
No, the problem is our artists get so busy doing jobs when we say, hey, we need something, we don't have them around. I'm busy, my hand hurts or something. So
my hand hurts from painting.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Right.
But no, that is a great idea, is commissioning someone to put something together.
Right.
Excellent idea. Excellent idea.
And on that note, you know, if you are artistic, like we've talked about the minis and stuff, like we have one guy, he doesn't know how to make anything. He's not crafty at all, but he's really good at painting minis for some reason. Like he excels at that. And so almost all of us, we will, you know, we have 3D printers, so we'll print the things, but then we hand them to him to paint because he's the good painter and none of us want to paint them. And so that could be your gift. Is just, you're just really great at painting things.
Everybody's got their strengths and weaknesses, like a D&D part.
Yeah.
Just like a part.
Let's see. So I have a couple other, I know I don't want to go too late here, but I do want to show this one. I don't want to forget this one. So going back to crafty things, right? Sorry, not everybody's going to be crafty, but I'm sure you can pay someone to do this. I made, for the very first year anniversary of our campaign that we played in, I made everyone's character. I crocheted little miniature characters, little dolls.
I love it.
This one is mine, and this isn't the best one because my character started out very like crazy, frantic, dirty, disheveled, you know. So she's kind of dirty and disheveled, but you know, I have her little chains here that I made, you know, and her curly hair. And
great.
She used to wear armor, but now she doesn't because she's a barbarian. So I need to make an updated version. But what was funny was, because it was only the first year, I didn't really have a good understanding of what some of the characters looked like. So the guy who is Sparky, the fire guy, right? The fire wizard. I never understood exactly what his character looked like, but he always polymorphed into a T-Rex or like a dinosaur. So I basically made a dinosaur. I just crocheted a dinosaur, but with a spell book on his back. So like
it was more symbolic of his character.
Right.
But I like it. I like it.
So now, unfortunately, I know if anybody's going to ask, right? Like, are there patterns for these? No, I am the type of crocheter. I'm like a chef where like I can just kind of figure it out and this looks right. No, undo this and redo that. So unfortunately, no, I can't find patterns for any of these things. You're going to have to intuit it. But I just think I think it's a great personalized gift.
That's
anyway,
incredible. So. Yeah, that's amazing. Somebody gave me one of those, I'd be like quite impressed, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, that's great. That is so great. No, now I have to talk to you, Amber, because you have to make Cthulhu a Cthulhu hat. We'll talk later.
Oh yeah, I totally
can.
Oh
my gosh.
I made for one of my players, has nothing to do with D&D, but he saw this Kraken hat. I'm the kind of person I can look at a picture and figure it out. So he saw this picture of a hat that you put on. It looks like a big octopus on your head, right? There's these eyes, and then there's these huge like curly cute tentacles that just kind of come down, and so he asked if I could make it, and I did. I have a picture of it somewhere I can show, but yeah. So
all right, well, while we're promoing, I gotta remind everybody, go to dungeonstudios.co, look for those partners, and you'll find Doc Platorius's Monsters 5e Sea Creatures.
Yes,
check that out. That could be a nice gift you could give to your DM. I think it's $3 or something. Come on, hook me up. Hey, I might as well promote my own stuff.
You should.
Right?
You should. Yeah. Honestly, it's really cool. I love the cover because the cover looks really nice and kind of like antiquated. Kind of. I like the way it. looks.
That's and all the art inside is all just classic map monsters from the Age of Exploration, and I statted them out, and we had a blast testing them, and it'd be a lot of fun to throw into your campaign if you get a chance. So check it out.
What format are they in? How hard is it to add them to D&D Beyond as homebrew creatures?
Oh, they're simple. They're on PDF. I don't think it would be that. Yeah, I don't think it would be that hard.
Fascinating.
And I can hook you up. I mean, Russ, I hadn't even thought of that. I can put them on Beyond for everybody and just share them publicly. That's easy.
Yeah,
that's
but then you're shorting yourself from a sale.
Who knows?
You could link them in the book. People on D&D Beyond tend to only use those things when they know they exist.
When they know they exist, right. Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, that is very true. But it's out there, and we also have a whole bunch of Dungeon Studio adventures. Nice. If you're looking for adventures, so those also make great gifts. So I got to promo our stuff there.
Of course,
I is watching.
There you go. Gosh, I feel like that was kind of the perfect thing to end us on. I'm trying to. Oh, sorry. I do have one more set of things.
No, we got more stuff. I'm sure we still. Go ahead.
Oh no, I have tons of stuff, but I don't have to go through every single thing. But just as an idea, right? I've talked about this before when you are set to all play and then one player doesn't show up or two players don't show up and everybody's like, well, now what do we do? Right. You can always gift your friends other games so that you guys can have a game night or D&D related other games. Like everybody plays Settlers of Catan, and I've got here it is, Munchkin. If you've never played Munchkin, it's definitely a fun RPG, feels like D&D. And then the other one.
I have a request. To go find Netflix has games now.
Interesting.
And they have Escape from the Mind Flayer, which is obviously from Stranger Things, which I thought would be kind of a neat. Somebody didn't show up that night, we'll play this instead kind of game. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. On that note, if you're online, there's like those Jackbox party packs, those are so much fun to play online. If you've never played that, and there's a few of them that are kind of D&D inspired, they're pretty fun. So if you're online.
Right. I was going to say, optionally, there are 5 million other role-playing games too, tabletop role-playing.
Yeah. Finally gift someone, because maybe that's the thing, that the barrier that's holding them back from trying another system is they don't have the book. You get them the book, and now we all can try that.
Or, the Marvel superheroes role-playing game, or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or Vampire the Masquerade. That's what I was really waiting for.
I knew you were going to go there. But yeah, this
What
one's a
else?
really fun one too. 5-minute dungeon. I like this one because it doesn't feel like everyone's playing against each other. It's very collaborative, and you're
Right.
basically against the timer. So there's tons of options. Just go to your local game store and ask them if you don't know which one to get. There's tons of options.
Yeah, there's so many options out there.
Right.
It's
Right.
great. It's great.
Okay.
What a great, so many great gifts we've seen tonight. I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah.
It's great. You
I
guys
mean,
give me so
like-
many ideas.
Do I just keep like showing until
Yeah.
I have so many things? Okay, real quick. Funko Pops. Everybody loves Funko Pops, right? You can always get D&D now has their Funko Pops out. Okay.
Oh no. Oh
The-
no. There's like 1,000 monopolies.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? What is this?
So
what is
this
this
is
here?
when you have characters that fly, you need something to represent where they are vertically. So these are the risers that, it's funny. Maybe now there's probably more, but at the time that I needed these, this was the only kind you wanted. And I couldn't find them anywhere. And now I think you can find them.
Anything like that ever even
I just used D6s and stacked D6s
That's
up
what I was
on
gonna say. Stack stuff up.
D6
but
is worth 10 feet,
It's really customizable, and the more you have of these, you the more dynamic your game gets, and people are flying all over the place.
That is a neat idea. That
Very
is another
cool.
good one.
Very, very cool.
As a DM who travels, if you get them something to hold their things in, like a little travel case for the minis, this is where the light was. I found it.
Well, that's what I use too. I have basically this, and it's just, I mean, I really could use a much nicer one if anyone wants to give me something, but pens, markers, dice, all the basic stuff for running games.
Right.
Now, Amber, you made me think of another gift I saw when I was at the bookstore. Kind of not really D&D related. They're making soft monsters that are attached to keychains. So you have a beholder, a dragon, a bullet, an owl bear,
bears,
little stuffed animal attached to a keychain. They're really cute.
They're so cute. Yeah. Everybody loves that. All that kind of stuff. The mimics, owl bears. Yeah. The illithids.
He's a keychain.
Right.
I just got him on
Nice.
so it can stand on the thing. And
remember the other one on my shopping, when you go into a bookstore, ask them where their section is for their Dungeons and Dragons stuff. It's usually somewhere else. It's not usually with the toys, and it's not always with reference, and it's not always with fantasy. So have them get you right to the right direction, because they have all the stuff you're looking for all in the right places. I think I went to about 6 or 7 different bookstore companies.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much the same deal, but they all have licensed Hasbro and unlicensed, and great stuff out there. So make sure you get out there. It's going to be gone soon.
Right.
Yeah.
Christmas is coming.
Yes.
It's coming.
So yeah, make sure you get on those, Black Friday deals or any of that. I've actually found some game shops where they, for lack of a better word, I hate it, but they're going out of business because, big box stores, but they have a lot of discounted merchandise. There's a lot of ways to do this affordably. And then split the cost with your friends.
Yeah, right.
All right. So I hope that everyone here found some kind of spark of inspiration. If you're just trying to figure out what to get your friends, what to get your DM, hopefully we gave you some ideas. On that note, we may not see you again until 2024. So we will be in the chat here and there when we have our episodes premiering. And as a reminder, we will be playing our best of episodes. If you have a particular episode that you want us to play again or that you missed, let us know. We'll feature that one.
I'm going to try and get these two into a game on Rollstream, at least one game, if not 3 games, where we take turns.
Yeah, we've been talking about this. I like this idea.
I was thinking about it.
We could do it on Rollstream, and then we could cut bits out of it and throw that into the game, or we could do it fully on the game. I don't know, but we'll come back to that.
Yeah, we'll figure
now,
that out.
don't forget, support us on YouTube. Share us if you're a DM. Tell your players to check out some episodes. We really could use some cross promotion from anybody out there. So help us out. And if you want to join us, even if you see our repeats, check us out online, Facebook, Dungeon Studios, or you can check us out on Discord.
Yeah,
Dungeon
come join our
Studio.
community.
Please check us out and take the initiative.
Oh, I see what you did there.
We'll see you then.
We'll see you then. Adios.
All right.
Goodbye.